following is an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports.
Tonight is a special night for Braves fans as Atlanta hosts the Montreal Expos in the last regular season game at Fulton County Stadium. Who will ever forget the memorable moments in this place? Henry Aaron passing Babe Ruth as the all-time home run king. The 92 NLCS when Sid Bream slid past the Pirates. Or last year's World Championship. The memories last forever. Tonight we at TBS say goodbye to the home of the Braves.
It's a beautiful night for baseball here in Atlanta. A capacity crowd filling Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Hi, everybody. I'm Don Sutton along with Skip Carey. Glad you're with us on what is already proving to be a very nostalgic evening. The final game of this homestand, the final game of the season here for Atlanta, but also the final regular season game here in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. And Skip, those of us who came in here wearing visiting uniforms, I'm sure we have a lot of warm, wonderful thoughts about Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. But, man, you've seen the first pitch to the last one. There must be a lot of things flashing through your mind.
Well, you should have warm memories. You never got beat here, hardly. Yeah, there really are. Rick Camp's home run, being fortunate enough to do the first regular season game here, a minor league game back in 1965, the old Atlanta Crackers. Frankie Cabrera's hit and Sid Bream scoring the run. I've always thanked Frankie for getting the hit. And thank Sid for being slow enough to make it a close play at the plate, winning a championship. Otis Nixon's great catch, and then the great play by Marquise Grissom on the fly ball to win the World Series. And, of course, absent friends, too, people that are no longer with us, like Bill Lucas, the fine general manager of the Braves for many years, and Lauren and Benny, our friends from up here. Our thoughts are with them tonight, too. It's a bittersweet night. It's going to be a great new ballpark, but sure, we're going to miss this one.
April 12th, 1966, it was Bob Beal for the Pirates. It was Tony Cloninger for the Braves. The final game in this stadium in a regular season will see Greg Maddux on the mound for the Braves. He'll be going against Mark Leiter. We'll have it all for you after we break away.
Atlanta Braves Baseball, brought to you by Budweiser, brewery fresh taste guaranteed. By Coca-Cola Classic, always in the game, always Coca-Cola. By Carpets of Dalton and American Home Showplace, one-stop home shopping. And by Bell South, it's all here.
Can't believe he broke it at the company picnic.
Incredible. Our employee health plan covers him, right?
Not deductibles or co-payments.
So he has to lay out his own money.
Your health plan can work better with Aflac. Supplemental insurance from Aflac helps cover the unexpected costs of recovery so you can give your employees the protection they need and
a night that will stir a lot of memories in the future. Time for us to take a look at the Pep Boys starting lineup. Mark Grizzolanek will lead it off. For the Expos, Lansing to bat in the second spot. It'll be David Segui hitting third. Alou, Rodriguez, and White, the heart of the order. Fletcher, Andrews, and Leiter will complete it. The Braves will run a defense that'll have Polonian in left, Andrew Jones in center, Smith in right. The infield, Pendleton, Blauser, Belliard, and Klesko getting the start at first. Eddie Perez behind the plate. And on the mound, making his 34th start, 14-11, a 276. The league only hitting 241. And I'm sure for Greg Maddux, Skip, it must be something that... as much of a businessman as he is, you got to get a little warm fuzzy having this night in your hands.
Yeah, especially with the pennant clinched and we're underway. Boy, look at all the flash balls. Line drive to center. Andrew Jones is there. Boy, doesn't it look funny not to see Marquise out there?
Yes, it does.
You know, on our score sheets, folks, we have a little diamond on them where you write down the names of the players. I never write down the names of the Braves because it's the same guys. Wrote them down tonight. It's a little different than normal. Mike Lansing is the batter. By the way, just I guess a sign of the times, the Braves did receive a bomb threat prior to the game this afternoon. Several law enforcement agencies thoroughly checked the stadium, and all is well. Line drive, right field. That's going to drop in for a hit. Dwight Smith up and firing towards second. So a runner at first and one down. It's almost like, oh yeah, there's a ball game tonight too.
Yeah, with all that's going on. I know it had to be you mentioned the phrase bittersweet in the open there. How about for Marshall Mann?
Oh, that's it. This is his last regular season game. He's going to retire after this year.
And Ernie Johnson, like you, saw the first pitch. There's a look at Marshall Mann. Neat guy. Boy, we're going to miss him. What a terrific man. Nobody in baseball does it better.
I know Lois Johnson is looking in tonight. Lois, Ernie was great as always.
Outstanding.
Throw to first, runner back. It's serious business. It's fun and games for Atlanta. I mean, you play the guys you need to play to rest the people you need to rest, but you try to win the game. For Montreal, they're locked in a bitter struggle trying to become the wild card team.
Speaking of that, I have a question for you. If you were San Diego and you look at the lineup run out on the field by the Braves tonight, what goes through your mind?
I don't know how they feel, but I think this is what I would do. But I would call a little meeting and say, I want you guys to play because I want you ready for the playoffs, but we're going to try to win this bleeping game.
And you would
see if Andrew can haul it down. He's playing his natural position now, just shy of the pack. Greg's given up some well-hit balls so far, but 2 out and a runner at first.
One thing you could say about the Braves tonight, nobody in the National League has a better bench.
But yeah, you get that right. And it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Ryan Klesko does at first base. And important, I think, that he gets some time there. Somebody gets some time there. As indestructible as Fred McGriff is, he could get hit by a pitch or pull a muscle. Now Lewis, 2 out of 14 in this series. He has 21 homers, 94 runs driven in. He'd like to get to 100.
I think if I were San Diego, I would understand, and I would be thinking, boy, if I were in their situation, I would do the same thing, but I hope they don't.
Of course, San Diego and the Dodgers, that's still unfinished business, too.
Right.
0-1 the count. Pirates lead again. That's an amazing story. They lead the Cubs 2-0. St. Louis and Cincinnati just underway. Cardinals failed to score in the first. The Reds won a doubleheader from them yesterday.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard a statement. First the pitch.
Line foul.
Knowing him, it's probably not true, but somebody said, to quote Jim Leland, if I'd known they were going to do this, I'd announced it in April.
That sounds about right. Cincinnati, by the way, now just a half game out of second place. Houston has lost 9 of their last 10. They've lost 8 in a row, right in the middle of the pennant race. Breaking ball outside, 1-2. St. Louis, with 6 games left, has a 5-game lead over Houston, 5.5 over Cincinnati. So they got to win one. He took a shot at the outside corner, didn't get it. Charlie Rutherford, the home plate umpire tonight. Jim Quick, Dana DeMuth, Gary Darling around the bases. And to the credit of everyone, the Braves and Gary Darling got through a game last night without any argument either way, or unhappiness or stuff like that.
If I were Lou, I would not be looking for a walk. Maddox has only walked 2 in his last 34 innings.
It's amazing.
When you look at it, you see 27 walks and 168 strikeouts. That's an unbelievable ratio.
Runner going. Strike 3 called, inning over. Lou argues about that. He says that was a foot outside. Flings the bat away in disgust. He may have been right, and the umpire may have been influenced by the runner breaking from first. 1 hit, no runs. No errors, one left, bottom of the first, no score.
Can't believe he broke it at the company picnic.
Incredible. Our employee health plan covers him, right?
Not deductibles or co-payments.
So he has to lay out his own money.
Your health plan can work better with Aflac. Supplemental insurance from Aflac helps cover the unexpected costs of recovery so you can give your employees the protection they need and deserve.
Any ideas?
Yeah, Aflac.
Aflac, insuring over 40 million people worldwide.
We started with a clean sheet of paper.
I want to see the paperwork.
If you'll just sign on the dotted line.
It's a funny thing.
I want that in writing.
That's a total write-off.
The most advanced, sophisticated, high-tech businesses are all built
Looks good on paper.
Looks good on paper.
Looks good on paper.
on paper.
Let's get it down on paper.
Which is why you should bring your business to Office Depot. We've got all you need, all for the best prices, guaranteed, in writing, on paper. Office Depot.
This is where I take care of business.
It's here.
Let me feel it.
626 LX5.
I want to touch it.
Customized by Mazda.
I want to hold it in my hand.
With air, cruise control, cassette stereo, power windows and locks, and more. $16,895. Or lease for $219 a month, $1,000 down.
I'm never gonna let go.
Mazda, customized for value. 626.
I got a passion for the road.
TBS Destination Sunday. This Sunday on National Geographic Explorer. Koalas. More than just cute and cuddling. Amazing acrobats, fighting, mating, and living it up in the outback. King Koala. Then on Topics. Despite trouble and tragedy, the mission to fly farther, faster, and higher into space continues. The conclusion of the award-winning Moonshot. National Geographic Explorer, followed by Topics. This Sunday at 7 Eastern. Only on TBS Destination Sunday.
Mark Leiter goes to work. Luis Polonia leads it off. Takes a pitch outside. It's Polonia, Blauser, and Andrew Jones. Klesko, Pendleton, Dwight Smith, Eddie Perez, Rafael Belliard, and Greg Maddox. That's your Atlanta lineup. Pop fouled out of play. Defensively, left to right, Rodriguez, White, and Alou in the outfield. Segui at first, Lansing second, Andrews third, Grizzolanek shortstop, and Darren Fletcher doing the catching. Leiter, 35 home runs he's given up. It's 8-10, a 4.84 and runner.
35 homers in 32 starts.
Good change of pace. Polonia out front, 1 and 2.
An earned run average in the high fours. The league hitting about 275 against him. Strikes out a lot. Doesn't walk many. So look for something that you can handle. Throw you a lot of rolling breaking balls. And some that don't roll.
Looking at some of the former Braves that are here for the ceremonies, they're not going to see much of this game. The autograph hounds are all over him. Bob Horner and Greg Olson down below. And of course the people stand in the aisle and the people behind them can't see the games, and so it creates a problem. Just missed inside, 2 and 2. There's Bedrock. Polonia fouls it away. Polonia, Blauser, and Andrew Jones, the first three for Atlanta. There's the ever popular Murph.
Takes up a whole row.
He never changes.
No, he doesn't.
Leiter strikes out Polonia, and the bottom of the first is underway.
Looked like it might have been a pitch that he didn't want to throw, but got away with. A hanging changeup goes out away from Polonia. One right under it.
Here's Jeff Blauser, who has found that all he had to do to stop the Boo Birds here was break his hand. And he hits that ball hard, but right at Grizzolanek. Funny hop, but he comes up and throws, and 2 are out. 2 gone in a hurry in the first. Here's Andrew Jones. He had a big day here yesterday. Andrew yesterday was 4 out of 5. A couple of doubles, a couple of RBIs, and a stolen base. 2 out, nobody aboard. Ball, a good one on the outside edge, 0-1. Let up, hit hard. Grizzleanic, good play. Leaps to his feet. Just did get him, and the inning is over. Fine play by the shortstop. Andrew hit it right on the nose. No hits, no runs. No errors, no one left. An inning has gone by. We're scoreless in Atlanta.
Atlanta Braves baseball, brought to you by Bell South. It's all here.
Life. It's not the sort of thing that shuts down at 5. So at Bell South, we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you ever need to reach us, just give us a call. Anytime. Bell South. It's all here.
Right here, right now, Clean Sweep. We're clearing out the last of the 96 models with great savings, like cash back as high as $1,500 on Chrysler Concorde and $1,000 cash back on Chrysler Sebring Coupe. Or get financing as low as 1.9%, or low lease rates on Chrysler Sebring Convertible, up to $1,500 cash back, or 1.9% financing, or low lease rates. Right here, right now, it's the 96 Clean Sweep, only at your Chrysler dealer.
I don't know what the story is. A garage is made for the car. Why do dogs and all the junk from the house live in the garage? Why is that? Everybody on the whole street's like that. There's nothing in there that anybody's used in at least 5 years. And what's even worse is I don't even get the high-octane fuel that I'm designed for. Like Chevron Supreme with Techron. You're just like, you're nothing.
No premium outperforms Chevron Supreme with Techron. Chevron, simply smarter.
It's a pathetic existence, you know.
Nighttime comes to Atlanta, GA. Sid Bream among those in the crowd tonight. Henry Rodriguez leads off and takes one outside. 1 ball, no strikes. No score, second inning. Rodriguez has had a wonderful year, but the second half, nothing like the first. Well, he was on fire till the All-Star break.
He went through a stretch where everybody was trying to pitch him up, and because you figure most left-handed hitters are low fastball hitters. With the All-Star break, he was getting a lot of high fastballs, and very quickly the scouting report on Henry Rodriguez changed.
Didn't get that fastball. A ball and 2 strikes.
And all of a sudden, if you feed a guy like him enough change-ups and get him off stride, you can go back up there where you wanted to pitch in the first place.
Got him. Over the inside corner, no argument from Rodriguez. Maddox records his 170th strikeout of the year. I thought he had the best line of anybody after the game yesterday. When you guys did such a fine job of talking to the players, he said that Smoltz said it was like a Little League game. He said the guy pitches a great game and hits a homer.
Back when he was 12 years old.
Yeah. Rondell White, the batter, and he scorches one foul into the seats, 0-1.
Greg Maddox has a great grasp of life. What he does for a living is not what he has become. He is still a person away from here and just kind of leaves it and then goes to work and does a good job at the office.
Yeah, his priorities are pretty solid. Most of our guys, I enjoyed the interviews because of, and I'm not knocking you and Joe at all, but so little was said. They know what to say. And yeah, who do you want to play? Oh, I don't care. We just want to play.
You know, one that I wish we had had a little more time to develop and pursue.
Pelyard throws him out. A little kindling for Rondell White's fireplace.
We were just getting ready to think. Marquise Grissom was very emotional yesterday afternoon because of the 200 hits and because of doing it. And all of a sudden, the champagne got flying in his face, and he genuinely got hurt by it. I mean, his eyes were genuinely hurt.
Yeah, I could tell it.
But he was standing there with Jermaine Dye, and the two of them really were just getting into a conversation about what they have meant to each other and what this season has meant to them both. And I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to develop that further. I think it would have been something special.
0-1 the count. Little chopper towards first. Whoa! Look out, Ryan. All right, nothing to it. When they get to the dugout, Maddox is going to say, that was different.
He was just checking to see if Greg was going to get there in time.
No hits, no runs, no errands, nobody left. They don't make that play like that. Bottom of the second, no score.
From U.S. Healthcare, a program created especially for Atlanta. It's called Quality Point of Service, and it means freedom. The freedom to select any doctor or hospital you want and still be covered. Quality Point of Service also includes all the great preventive benefits and wellness programs that have made U.S. Healthcare this area's leading health plan. It's affordably priced and committed to quality because it's from the leader in managed care. That's why over 2.8 million members depend on us for a healthier way of life. U.S. Healthcare. You'll feel better with us.
Face it, nothing beats a big Mitsubishi, especially when there's no payments and no interest until 1998.
Our telecast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club and is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission of the pictures or descriptions of the game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
See Darrell Evans, and on his right, Rick Mailer, a couple of former Braves, former teammates. Ryan Klesko, tonight the first baseman, leads off the bottom half of the second inning. One ball, no strike. Hate to be a fuddy-duddy about all this, but we got to point out to you, this may not even be the last regular season game. It probably is, but if they run into construction problems across the street or bad weather all winter, we might have to open here again next year. That's hit hard. Good play, Lansing. On a short hop, they say, and he throws out Klesko, one away. Terry Pendleton will hit.
Here's a look at what's going on over across the freeway. You hope for very happy unions and good weather.
Jason Schmidt just gave up a 3-run homer to Luis Gonzalez, his 13th of the year. The Cubs lead the Pirates 3-2. Cubs can't win a game. Pirates can't lose one. Pendleton at 283, 4 homers. 5 pop out of play. That's not right.
243, I think it is.
I wonder whose stats I wrote down there. Huh? I wrote down Eddie Perez's stats.
That's right next to him in the line.
I wrote it down twice, as a matter of fact. It's really amazing. A little busy around here tonight.
Yes, it did.
Pendleton hitting 243 with 11 homers and 74 RBI.
Needed a double-decker bandwagon tonight.
Yeah. Lansing wants it. And has it 2 down. It always amuses me a little bit the people you don't see all year long, but suddenly it's human nature. Lloyd Smith is the batter. One ball, no strikes to Dwight. He's gotten plenty of at-bats this year, but he's had a tough time of down to 197. He's a much better hitter than that.
Certainly was last year.
Over the inside corner. A ball and a strike. The 1-1 pitch. Little chopper, tough play. Segui in up, pitcher covers. Got him the ball. Did he miss the base? Nope, he got it. And the inning is over. Nothing doing for Atlanta. The Braves are yet to get it out of the infield. At the end of 2 innings, no score in the ball game.
Now let me get this straight. What you're saying is all those Delta Sky miles I'm accumulating
will never expire. Just fly with us once every 3 years.
So 10 years from now, you're still good. Half a century passes.
Still good.
Oh, I'm 104 and I need a vacation.
Have you flown with us once every 3 years?
Absolutely.
Hawaii's nice.
You know, more professionals use Napa parts than any other. And that makes all of our customers feel good about our quality. They know what it takes to fix it right the first time.
Get your ride ready for the season at the right price, too, at Napa's tailgate sale with a $10 rebate on our best Napa Legend batteries and Bosch Super Spark plugs for a low 89 cents each. So head to your nearby Napa Auto Parts store for fall savings at the tailgate sale.
We keep America running.
The new Dodge. It's about change. The new Dodge. It's breaking rules and making new rules. The new Dodge. If we violate the laws of physics, will we be punished? The new Dodge. It's about change. The new Dodge.
Shane Andrews will lead off the 3rd. Well, my buddy Bob Neo, who does NBA basketball on TNT, he's got an interesting night ahead of him. Bob is a voice on the radio of the Atlanta Falcons, who have gotten off to an 0-3 start, and last night they benched their quarterback Jeff George, and he and Coach June Jones got into a heated conversation on national television, and Jeff has now been suspended for a week. Here's the pitch to Andrews. Part of Bob's gig is to do the Falcons call-in show on Monday nights. Oh, it gets better.
Uh-oh, there's more?
Oh, yeah. The 1-0 pitch. One hopper to Belliard. He's got it. Over to first in time. 1 down. Ordinarily, Jeff George is a guest on the show in the studio, and ordinarily June calls in. It could be a very interesting evening for Bob. But he'll handle it. He's a beauty.
He may feel like ooh thought before tonight's over.
All right, kiss them. Leiter heads to the plate. He's hitting 127. He's driven in 5 runs. How about those Carolina Panthers? Aren't they something?
3-0.
Fastball high, 1-0. Old friend of ours, Charlie Dayton, up there with that team. Used to be with the Falcons here in the way. Happy for him. The 1-0 pitch. Pop foul back. Evens the count at a ball and a strike.
How about them Cowboys while we're talking a little football?
Tough year so far.
Last time they had to start this bat, it was either prior to or before Deion Sanders got there.
Deion's having an interesting year. Ground ball to second. He's playing offense. He's playing defense. Mark Resalanek, the batter. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. 2 out, nobody on. Resalanek line to center his first time.
Boy, the more I see him, the more he resembles a young Paul Molitor, right down to the number 4 on his back.
That's a pretty good compliment. Good play, Greg Maddox. That's his specialty. One of them, and the inning is over. He gets him 1, 2, 3. He's set down 7 straight. Bottom of the 3rd, no score.
This year, TBS turns 20 with a coast-to-coast big birthday bash.
TBS, happy birthday.
From the Big Apple to the Golden Gate, we're coming to a town near you with birthday games, big prizes, and the world's largest birthday cake hot air balloon.
TBS, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Join us September 27th through the 29th in Austin, Texas for the Lone Star Weekend Aloft. The TBS Big Birthday Bash, brought to you in part by Little Debbie Cakes.
The Mercury Challenge is on. We challenge you to find a better deal on a better equipped car. Low 3.9% APR financing or big $1,500 cash back on the award-winning Mercury Sable sedan or wagon, but only until October 1st. It's the roomiest Sable ever with a powerful standard V6 that goes 100,000 miles between scheduled tune-ups. Low 3.9% APR or $1,500 cash back. But hurry, this offer ends October 1st.
Imagine yourself in a Mercury now.
It is red, the color of passion. Without it, all of this would be gone. Even the little light bulb are gone. But the little light bulb is not gone. With it, there is nothing that I cannot possess. It is what I want, for what I need. It is red. It is mine. And it is from Target.
The Target guest card. What you want for what you need.
Let's take a look at our Axit AR scoreboard. Chicago with an early lead over Pittsburgh, bottom of the 4th inning. Game 2 just underway in Cincinnati. No score over in the American League. Milwaukee wins by 1 in spite of Rafael Palmeiro's 38th homer. That went 10 innings. Cleveland has taken an early lead over Minnesota. Toronto is leading Detroit 3-1. Curtis Pride's 9th homer of the year. Boston against New York. Boston has just scored. That's Clements against Pettit. That is one good matchup. The rest of the league has Texas at Oakland and Seattle at California. And you're up to date on the Axit AR scoreboard.
Ernie Johnson Jr. among the dignitaries here tonight. Eddie Perez leads off the bottom of the 3rd. Breaking ball, swung and missed, 0-1. No score in the ball game. The Expos have the only hit. The crowd very quiet. I think really more than anything else they're waiting around for the post-game show, to be honest with you. Ground ball sharply hit. A good play by Andrews. He's a good third baseman.
Boy, does he have a good arm.
And what was your record? And I'm asking you, Don didn't ask me to ask him this, but I know you had an incredible run of luck and skill in this ballpark.
If I remember correctly, from 69 through 80, I either lost 1 or I didn't lose a game in this ballpark. There was just a comfort level pitching here, and I know part of it was because I grew up in the South and I had relatives all near here, but I know they called it the launching pad, but it was always comfort level pitching. I had a simple philosophy.
Raffy with a solid hit. If he gets under that baby, he's in business. I mean, for serious bases, but he'll take the single.
Had a simple philosophy pitching here. I figure I'd go ahead and give up my solo homer to Horner and Murphy early and get it over with.
And win the 8-2.
And that was it. It would be 6-2, 6-3. But I tried not to walk anybody here, and that was always my philosophy in hitters' ballparks. Don't walk people. Because I knew Horner was going to get one, and I knew Murphy was going to get one, and Horner's was going to be down the left field line and high, and Murphy's may not have come down yet. So,
have you ever seen a better stroke? I'm just talking about not how good a hitter he was, but I always thought Bob Horner had one of the greatest swings I ever saw because it was so compact. He'll bunt or try to, he does, but foul or not.
That made him so difficult to pitch because he stood right on the plate. So you'd say, well, I'm going to pitch him away, but he had bat coverage of the whole plate. You throw him a breaking ball a couple of inches off the plate outside, and you think, well, I got him. Nah, he'd hook it in the left center field. Then you say, well, watch me pop him inside, and the bat would come through so quickly he'd wear out the left field foul pole. Excellent stroke. I played high school ball with a guy who never played, I think, much higher than college. A guy named Bobby Mason, who was built similar to Horner and had the same stroke.
Lined into right field, but it's going to be caught. Belliard had been running. They played hit and run. Belliard dives back safely. He was in there anyway. No error will be charged. Maddox is saying, oh, Rackerfrets, because he hit that ball hard.
Boy, there's a great example of two guys not just standing around and being spectators in the play. A lot of times you will see an infielder, an outfielder, a catcher saying, that's not my play. But when it looked like, take a look. Here comes Leiter. There's Fletcher right in line. Perfect. Almost like he knew it was going to bounce away. There's always a job for you on the field, even if you're not directly involved in it.
There's Bob and Chris Horner.
Might be a little bit easier to pitch him inside now.
See, Bob's followed my diet plan. Runner at first, 2 down.
He's another guy I couldn't see playing a long time in Japan.
No, he did not like that experience. They almost went crazy. And then he came back and was going to play with Baltimore and hurt his shoulder, and that was that. His agent did a great job for him, a fellow named Bucky Roy.
Lee Trevino's agent also.
But he and Ted Turner were like oil and water. Well, they didn't mix it up. I was kidding Ted before the game about the old ostrich races. He still accuses me of cheating. How the heck can you cheat? You just beg that thing to go somewhere near where it's supposed to go.
I kind of liked it too when you were kind of begging for stock and he offered you 6 Buffalo.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, thanks, Ted. I just figured a couple 100,000 shares. He'd hardly notice it was gone. One ball, no strikes. There goes Raffy. High and tight, high throw. Gets into short right field. Raffy doesn't know it's there. See if he's all right. He gets up a little slowly.
Looked like a little bit of a late slide and a head-first slide. Fletcher almost played that too casually. 1, 2, 3, 4-step jump. Here he goes. Let's see how he hits. Yeah, he may have hit pretty hard there, but at this point he has no idea where the ball is. Fletcher had time to make the throw. They have just let it slide away from him toward the right field side.
Now a base hit would mean an Atlanta run. Milwaukee hurt Baltimore tonight. They beat them 8-7 or this afternoon, I should
say. Boy, Baltimore has some guys having some great years. Rafael Palmeiro with 38 homers.
Yeah, how can they be behind? They were way behind. But they still got a shot at getting in. In fact, they lead Seattle now by a 1.5 games in the wild card race. If the Yankees win tonight, they'll be up by 5. They are losing early. 1-0. Murphy now. 3 stolen bases. He hasn't had that many since '91. The 3-1 to Luis Polonia. Right in there, outside corner. Full count now, 3-2.
One of the things John Sherholtz and Bobby Cox both like about Luis Polonia, coming off the bench, And even starting tonight, he makes a pitcher work. You hardly ever see him making an out on the first or second pitch. Not a real big strike zone. Good eye, can still hit some fastballs.
Ground ball, good play. David Segui saves a run, gets an out. And Belliard was still coming. That's a bang-bang play. If he's safe, a run is in. But they just did get him. No argument from Atlanta. Fine play by Segui. One hit. No runs, no errors. One runner left. 3 innings have gone by, and have gone by in a hurry. No score in the ball game.
Another subtle reminder to change your oil. Q-Lube, the quality of Quaker State and an oil change.
Oh, yes, indeed. I got an MPV.
This is it. Mazda MPV LX5 Sport Utility Minivan. 4 doors, seating up to 8. ABS and dual airbags standard.
M-A-Z-D-A. MPV.
Mazda MPV LX5 with air, cassette, power windows and locks. Lease for $299 a month, $1,000 down. MPV.
I got a passion for the road.
Isolate the desired implement and familiarize yourself with its dual extremities. Locate the honing unit and carefully insert the implement's non-rubberized end into the honing unit's funneled aperture. Firmly rotate the shaft clockwise while simultaneously exerting lateral
pressure. These days, just about anything can be made to seem complicated.
Perform technical evaluation.
A computer doesn't have to be one of them. The Acer Power 5000 series with the Intel Pentium processor.
Lousy TV.
Another subtle reminder to change your oil. Q-Lube, the quality of Quaker State and an oil change.
Before we go to the 4th inning, it's time for the Aflac trivia question. How many no-hitters have been thrown in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium? Well, let's see. John Montefusco pitched one, I remember. We'll have to think about that. Give you the answer in a half inning. Here with a play-by-play story in the 4th, Don Sutton.
All right, Skip, thank you. Mike Lansing to lead it off for Montreal. Segui and Alou to follow. Maddox has allowed just 1 base hit. A sharp single to Lansing his first time up. He has set down 8 in a row since then. And in typical Maddox fashion. Back up the middle. Maddox knocks it down. I don't think they're going to get him this time. But you can't shoot a rifle up the middle without Maddox getting some leather on it. That's going to be a base hit.
Or getting a leg on it. He's been like a hockey defenseman this year. Last time it was the glove. And he's upset he couldn't come up.
I think they call him Doggy, but his nickname on the club might ought to be Target. Because of the way he pitches, he gets a lot back up the middle. The Expos with a runner at first for David Segui. He flied to center his first time up. Segui has not enjoyed life against Greg Maddox. 2 out of 13. Almost threw it away.
The other problem for Maddox down running after that ball, you know he's had that hamstring problem, and running is where it really bothers him.
And I would guess sudden spurts of running, having to break away real quickly, might make it even worse. Did he go? They're going to ask. And yes is the answer. It's 0-1 to Segui. In Cincinnati, a single by Brian Jordan has scored Royce Clayton. A run in. Jordan on first, 2 outs. The Cardinals lead the Cincinnati 1-0 in the top of the 3rd. Coming into tonight, the magic number for the Cardinals, 2. Runner on first, nobody out. Pitch out, nothing going on.
You can pitch out with him just about any count except 3-0. And you could do that, but that was really good.
Yeah, if you didn't care what happened to the hitter, huh? A ball and a strike. They play Segui to pull in the infield. Pendleton a long way off the line, but in the outfield, almost dead straight up, shallow in center. On the ground and into right field. Good try by Klesko. Lansing will make it all the way around to 3rd to throw into 2nd. They're at the corners. to start the 4th inning with nobody out.
Another look. He got the ground ball, but not in the spot he wanted. Dwight had no shot at the runner.
So the Pirates threatening in the top of the 4th inning, and Moises Alou will come up for his 2nd time. He took call strike 3, tossed his bat away. Had a short but very pointed disagreement with Charlie Relaford. Down low, 1-0. Alou is 6 out of 29 against Maddox. But if you're Maddox and the Braves, those are numbers you're not too happy with. He becomes a different hitter with runners in scoring position. Maybe 2. To Blauser for 1. On the first, Maddox will trade the 2 outs for 1 run, and Expos lead it 1-0. That is a play showing complete confidence in your offense.
Yeah, here's another look. A curveball again, right? That's 3 of them right back at him tonight. No hesitation. That gives Blauser plenty of time to make the throw and get away from the runner.
Nice stretch at first by Ryan Klesko. Skip, you can only make that play if you have already thought through, what am I going to do if it's hit back to me? Bases clean, a run in. Here's Rodriguez, struck out looking his first time up. You see a lot of guys take that ball, look to third, then try to do something, and they only get the runner at second, and usually a runner scores. But Maddox didn't hesitate. Broken bat, high in the air to center. A late break by Jones, but he's there, and that'll do it. But the Expos pick up 1. They do it on 2 hits, leave the bases clean. As the Braves come to bat in the bottom of the 4th, they trail it by 1.
Can't believe he broke it at the company picnic.
Incredible. Our employee health plan covers him, right?
Not deductibles or co-payments.
So he has to lay out his own money.
Your health plan can work better with Aflac. Supplemental insurance from Aflac helps cover the unexpected costs of recovery so you can give your employees the protection they need and deserve.
Any ideas?
Yeah, Aflac.
Aflac, insuring over 40 million people worldwide.
Talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here.
Hey, you want to get psyched? Get a home theater from Hi-Fi Buys.
Carpets of Dalton is having a truckload sale on beautiful Karastan area rugs. We now have all styles and sizes of Karastan area rugs in stock and on sale. Don't miss the selection, don't miss the savings on Karastan area rugs during the limited time Karastan truckload sale. At Carpets of Dalton, I-75 south of Dalton, exit 135, under the big sign.
Okay, it's a semi-trick question we dropped on you here. How many no-hitters have been thrown in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium? Phil Necro against the Padres way back in '73. John Montefusco against the Braves. And then remember that combined no-hitter back in '91? Merker, Wohlers, and Pena? That's number 3.
We move to the bottom of the 4th inning.
That's Gina, who takes care of all the folks in the WSB radio booth.
Gina Mullinix. And that's Greg Olson, who eats there free every chance he gets. Here's Blauser. Ball 1. I'll make that a strike. Strike 1. There's Nuxie. Phil Necro. He authored a few memorable moments in this ballpark. That's the ultimate compliment right there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, he manages that ladies team, and since they went to aluminum bats, they played pretty well until at the end of their year.
I know they're in double figures with wins this year. 1-1. Blauser, Jones, and Klesko. Off the glove of Andrews at third. Blauser's thinking too, and will make it. Should be a hit, should be a double. And a good start for the Braves in the 4th inning.
Another look at it here. Kept the hands back. He had a chance at that ball, but it didn't get flush into the webbing. And bounced away just far enough to allow Jeff to pedal on into second base.
So he'll stand at second for Andrew Jones, who grounded to short his first time up. Braves trail it by 1. 1 run, 3 hits for the Expos. Blauser's double the second base hit of the night for the Braves. Belliard got a single last inning. See how the Braves play this. See if Andrew Jones takes a shot to right side. He does, but doesn't get it there. A comebacker. Low throw to first, but Segui comes up with it. There's out number 1. No advance by Blauser.
Can we get the mail stirred up again?
I wish you would discuss these things off the air before you run it out there.
I was just thinking with a ladies team like the one Phil manages, when the fans start doing the wave there, is it the same as, or is it like a permanent wave? Do they still have permanent waves, ladies?
The talk show on radio tomorrow begins at what time?
6:07.
6:07. Call and answer that question for Mr. Carey. He'll be hosting it. Here's Klesko, who takes ball 1 down and in. Speaking of Phil Niekro, and I know Skip mentioned in the open some memorable moments that you had seen and been a part of here. Niekro pitched that no-hitter August the 5th, 1973. Phil also made his farewell appearance as a Brave, September 27th, 1987. A legend in the annals of Braves history. 1 ball, 1 strike.
My unforgettable moment on the field with him. He's a dear friend off the field. But down the stretch in '82 with that young team that won the division, he pitched a clutch game in San Diego, much like John Smoltz yesterday. Pitched a shutout, hit a home run to win the game.
April the 12th, 1966. Opening night, 1-2 to Klesko. Speaking of Bob Horner, he kind of etched his name in the history book, too. The Braves ended up getting beat by the Expos 11-8, but in 1986, Bob Horner hit 4 home runs in a loss. That doesn't happen too often. You remember seeing the battles with Pete Rose, too, when he was in that stretch. Klesko pops it back into the crowd.
Yeah, Larry McWilliams and Gene Garber. I understand Gene's here tonight. I haven't seen him. Were the ones that combined to end that streak here. I mean, we televised the post-game news conference live from the soccer clubhouse down below. And only one slight problem. We neglected to tell Pete that we were televising live. You know, Pete. We didn't last on the air too long with that baby.
1-2. Blauser at second. Down low with the breaking ball. It's 2-2. 1982, the Braves set a Major League record, 12 straight wins at the start of the season. 13-0 the last night, 4-3 win over Cincinnati. And then one I know that you remember, back in 1985. Swing and a miss by Klesko. He's gone. That is the second strikeout registered by Leiter. 2 gone. Blauser still standing at second. Terry Pendleton will try to get him home.
Little slider, it looks like. Going over it.
Pendleton, first time up, popped to second. July 4th and 5th. It started on the 4th. It ended on the 5th, 1985. Rick Camp, an 18th inning homer. Tied it at 11-11. Braves lost it in the 19th, 16-13. What time was that final pitch?
I remember that I pulled in the driveway at around 5:30, picked up the morning paper, and thought to myself as I was heading down the drive, I've done this a lot of times, but this is the first time I've done it with a clean conscience. I don't know what got out of here at 4:30 or something.
1-0 to Terry Pendleton.
And they set the fireworks off after the game anyway.
Oh, which had to make people happy in the neighborhood.
Oh, it set off every pacemaker at Grady Hospital.
Leiter will send Blauser back to the bag. Takes a little bit too much time for Terry Pendleton.
I don't know if that was the year. I know we're probably reminiscing too much, but
It's the last night. We're entitled to it.
the one night it was Ted's idea at the last minute that we should broadcast the fire show after the game. That's when we never drew people except on July 4th.
1-1 the penalty.
And Ernie, I mean, nobody wanted to do it. And Ernie, being the kind of guy he is, said, okay, we'll draw straws, and the short straw has to do it. He drew the short straw. And I said, how the heck do you broadcast a fireworks show? You know how low-key Pete is? Pete said, Ernie, just say, ooh, ah. And I'll be darned if that's not what Ernie said, and everybody thought it was great.
Emmy Award-winning performance. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 gone. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Expos lead at 1-0. That's going to get out of play. 1-2. Got a special tonight, too. The Braves in a pregame ceremony honoring employees that have been here the full 31 years. Starting at the top of the heap, Chairman of the Board, Bill Bartholomew. Dave Pursley. In the ceremonies, Paul Snyder, Director of Scouting and Player Development. Bill Acree. Dick Cecil, President of Braves Productions. T. Herman Graves, who has been around the Stadium Authority here. And a very special time for Ernie Johnson. He emceed the event and picked himself up a plaque himself. In the dirt, good stop by Fletcher, 2-2. Bobby Cranford, Ethelene McBee, Walter Banks, who is everybody's favorite down in the lower section, one of the fine ushers here who normally works the area around the boss's box, always with a smile on his face. Edgar Warren, Emery Gary, Curtis Crockett, who are part of the fine folks here who take the tickets when you come in. Here's the 2-2 to Pendleton. Lined, fair foul, into the bullpen, foul ball. Close, 2-2. And on the grounds crew, Willie Pierce and Elijah Upshaw. Ray Williams, another one of the fine ushers. Doc Parton, who is right next to us here in the booth in the matrix board. John Showers, Erskine Bozeman out in the parking lot. Maintenance department, Marvin Turner, and the ever-present Braves photographer, Walter Victor. Fine ceremony and kind of a special moment for folks who have been right here through the thick and the thin, the good and the bad for 31 years. Another 2-2 to Pendleton. Leiter misses, full count, 3-2. And one very, very memorable moment for me, my first All-Star game, 1972. Right here in this ballpark. Goosebumps big enough you could cut them with a lawnmower.
Well, that had to be a kick for you, being as close to home as you could get.
It was really, really exciting. I remember my dad's boss chartered a plane and flew them up for it. In the right center field. Maybe extra bases for Pendleton. Blauser will score. TP's thinking 3, but will stop at second. A 2-out double sends Blauser home, and we're tied.
Another look at it here, a fastball. They try to get that fastball up. He didn't get it as high as he wanted it, and Terry raked it. That's going to be an interesting decision Bobby's going to have to make about what his infield setup is going to be for the playoffs. I mean, both Blauser and Pendleton are going to be on that 25-man roster, but who's going to play and who's going to pinch it?
Pendleton will stand at second for Dwight Smith. He is having trouble buying base hits. Grounded to first his last time up, a base hit here, and the Braves can take the lead. Off speed and high, and it's 1-0. And another day, man, you did a good job of mentioning some of the folks who are no longer with us here, Skip, and what they meant to you as we have a little meeting on the mound, and to the history of the Braves in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. I'll tell you a name that pops back into my mind, and a guy that I loved and appreciated so much, Mark Gladula. Yes. Mark down in the visiting clubhouse. And my first experience with him, coming in here in 1966, on a night that I was to pitch against the Braves, I was meeting my parents, so I show up and knock on the clubhouse door, and he said, "Yeah, what do you want?" And I said, I'm pitching now. He said, yeah, sure. Close the door in my face. I had to get somebody for an ID. A lot of people have made imprints on the history of baseball here in the stadium. To center field. Coming in a hurry. The dive. Did he get it? Yes, he did. A good play by Rondell White. The call made at first base by Jim Quick. Dana DeMuth trapped in the infield on that. Another look at it as we go out, but the Braves do pick up one. They do it on a pair of doubles. And as we head to the 5th inning, 1-1 the score.
Atlanta Braves Baseball, brought to you by AirTouch Cellular, an easy call to make.
Finding oneself alone in this world can be terrifying.
Poor thing, you must have fallen out.
His born-on date told me he was quite young, and I knew I must return him to his family to ensure he's consumed at optimum freshness.
I don't see him, do you?
Excuse me, he's lost.
Lost beer coming through. See him? We'll find him any minute. I can feel it. Excuse me. Don't give up. Hey, who's missing a bottle? We got a lost bottle here.
Budweiser. Brewery fresh taste. Strictly enforced.
Don't worry, little fella. We'll find him.
Go, Speed Racer. Go, Speed Racer.
Hey, boy, which way? Say I'm driving down the road and boom, I get a flat. Well, since I have AirTouch Cellular service, I just dial one easy number for 24-hour roadside assistance. And before you know it, help's on the way. You know, if my buddy Jack didn't own a tow truck, I'd probably never get to drive. Yo, Jack, no hands!
You're an animal, Ricky!
AirTouch Cellular, an easy call to make.
Sport, the fragrance and skin fitness line by Ralph Lauren. This $40 value is your gift with any $35 Polo Sport fragrance purchase. Available at Rich's.
Well, if you can hit a curveball or get out left-handers, we might be able to help. Other than that, you may be in deep trouble, big boy. We're in the 5th inning. Hits all even at 3. It's a 1-1 ball game.
Think he was funning just to get on TV?
I hope so. Rondell White to lead it off. The count is 1-0. Make it 2-0. Maddox 11-3 here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium in 18 starts. 1-1 against the Expos. One of the things that really helps the pitching staff. Comebacker. Blauser's got it. Can he throw him out? Not in time. For a big guy, and from the right-handed batter's box, Rondell White can run. Hit number 4 for the Expos.
Jeff did about all you can do here. He hit hard and scrambled to his feet, but not in time. Another ball hit up the middle. It's amazing how many Maddox gets.
Stays out of the heart of the strike zone. Everything around the corners. So White's at first for Darren Fletcher, who grounded to first his first time up. The lefty hitting .271. One of the things when you're building a pitching staff, I think if you're going to have a successful one, you like to have maybe 3 of your starters who can log you some innings. And certainly the Braves have that. But if they can log you quality innings, boy, what a bonus that is. Maddox 5+ innings in all but 1 start. Hit and run, fouled away by Fletcher, 0-1. He's made 33 starts. In 27 of those starts, Maddox has gone at least to the 7th inning. Dependability plus.
Somebody's lost a hat or something out in the left field area. That's the reason. No, it's a beach ball.
No balls and 1 strike.
I like the ushers on the tuxes. I think they should wear those all the time.
Yeah, kind of stylish. White makes it back.
Wait till the folks see the grounds crew. They're going to get a kick out of it.
It looks like we're at the world's biggest wedding.
Yeah, we're.
0-1. On the ground, slow roller. Good play by Klesko to get the leading runner. That's a hard play for a guy who spends every night over there, but for a part-time employee at first, heck of a play. Fielder's choice.
And I really think it's the only play he had. He was running so hard, I don't know if he could have gotten turned around in time to get the ball to Maddox, who was hustling over there. He had to unload right away. Not a perfect throw, but good enough to get the man.
Nice play on the other end by Jeff Blauser. So White is retired. Fletcher at first. Here's Shane Andrews. You see his numbers. He grounded to second his first time up. Maddox would take that again right here. Outside, 1-0. I know it's our last regular season broadcast from the stadium here. I have enjoyed my times here since 1989. Popped up. Who wants it? Belliard or Klesko. Belliard says, let me have it, and he's got it. Second out in the inning, and Leiter will be the hitter. But honesty compels me to tell you, I will not miss parking in the tunnel.
We haven't done a whole lot of that lately. I dropped my bags off today.
If our insurance companies knew we even drove in there, they would not insure us. First time up, Leiter grounded to second. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Skipping down with you for one more out, then Pete and Joe will take you to the house. 1-1 to score. We're in the top of the fifth on a sellout night here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. That's back our way, and it's 0-2. That'd make a perfect night for a fan, wouldn't it? Be able to come to this game and take away a foul ball for a souvenir.
Yeah, if you could ever convince anybody that you actually got it at the last game.
There are some great stories about memorable events and the number of people that attended it. In the dirt, 1 and 2. What was it? The homer in the Gloman, and was it? I think that was
Cochran.
Icky Cochran. Apparently, they did a research, and if everybody who says they were there, it would have had to seat 108,000.
Yeah, that's like late President Kennedy's PT 109.
Right.
That thing would have sunk.
It was the Queen E, wasn't it?
I mean, before it was torpedoed, it would have sunk with all those thousands of people on it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Leiter, 8 out of 64 with 5 RBIs. Pretty good sized strike zone for Greg Maddox. On the ground, right side, Belliard gobbles it up. He'll go to Klesko, and that'll put a lid on the 5th inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We're halfway home. Final night in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, 1-1 the score.
This Subaru Outback is pretty impressive.
Not wrong there.
It gets better gas mileage than a Cherokee, holds a turn tighter than a Blazer.
Don't forget acceleration.
Acceleration?
That's right. Go 0 to 60 faster than an Explorer.
Competition must be worried.
Oh, yeah. It's scared stiff. Subaru Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon.
There was a time in my life I could have given up and let Uncle Sam take care of me. But I was raised to believe you can't expect help if you don't help yourself. Those are the values I'll take to Washington. We've got to keep children from having children. Make parents pay court-ordered child support and require work for a welfare check. Government can't solve every problem. We all have to live up to our responsibilities.
He places a crown of soap bubbles on his son's head. Will he be king? King of Wall Street? King of medicine? King of hearts? One day he'll be too busy for his father. His son, the king, won't recall this moment. The father will be sad, then proud, and happy he saw his son become king. But first, the king needs drying off so he can get into his jammies.
Well, it's been a great night so far here at Atlanta. The last regularly scheduled home game in Atlanta, Fulton County Stadium. Gorgeous night for baseball. Good evening, everybody. Joe Simpson along with Pete Van Wieren, and another good contest between these two games.
Yeah, good game. I'm kind of glad, though, that the race was decided before tonight. There is so much party atmosphere here. I think the party atmosphere would not be quite as it is if this game had a little more meaning than it did for Atlanta. It still has a lot of meaning, of course, for Montreal. 2 games back in the wild card race.
But everybody's loose. They're having a good time, Atlanta fans especially. And as you have seen already, a lot of former Braves here at the ballpark, a lot of dignitaries. And a lot of good-looking ushers tonight. Mercy. Doing the Macarena in their tuxedos tonight. Everybody looking sharp. Eddie Perez will lead off for the Braves here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Followed by Rafael Belliard and then Greg Maddux. Eddie grounded after third his first time up. Had a big game here a couple of nights ago with a home run and a good defensive play. Takes a breaking ball for ball 1.
Ran into Ted Turner before the game tonight, and he's come up with an idea. I don't think the man ever goes anywhere without 1,500 ideas circulating in his head, but he came up with an idea for tonight for the 7th inning stretch, which is going to be somewhat unique. We'll have to keep our videotape rolling during the commercial break. I think you fans will get a kick out of it.
1-1 to Perez. You can tell he's fired up. So whatever is turning in there, the wheels are turning. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
It makes ball 2. What he came up with makes a lot of sense. It's nothing wild or crazy. It's just a very sensible thing on a farewell night in the ballpark, and we'll see how the fans respond to it. I think they will.
Okay. Fastball left upstairs and hit hard, but Rodriguez able to track it down. 1 away. And Rafael Belliard, the hitter, he singled his first time up, stole second, but was left stranded. Rafi up to .164. Hasn't had too many at-bats in the last month or so. Good to see him get a base hit his first time up. And goes up there hacking here in the 5th inning.
That never changes.
No. Now a pinch hitter for Greg Maddux on deck. Probably had to dig deep in his bench. Came up with Fred McGriff. So the idea of getting Greg Maddux 5 or 6 good innings will come to an end at 5, and Brad Potts will get some work.
Well, this is something that the Braves have been hoping to be able to do for quite some time now. Get their starting pitchers a little bit of work out of it after 5 or 6 innings, get them well rested, and keep them sharp for postseason play.
Hard hit in the hole, base hit. It was hooking enough to get by Grizzolanic. And Rafi's 2 for 2.
I don't think it was a strike. It wasn't. It was low and outside. That never deters Rafael Belliard. He'll chase pitches and get base hits on them from time to time. That time he was able to. And he has 2 of Atlanta's 4 hits.
It's easy to figure out how many pinch hit appearances Fred McGriff's had this year. None, because he's started and played in every other game other than tonight. 294, 28 homers, a career tying high in RBIs, 106. Takes inside. Keeps his consecutive games played streak alive. He's now played in 322 straight. Maddux goes 5 innings, gives up 4 hits and 1 run. Breaking ball foul. 1-1 the count.
And this is the reverse of what we're talking about as far as giving players rest. You don't want them to get rusty by sitting for 2 or 3 days in a row and not getting an at-bat. So Bobby will make sure that his regular guys get some pinch hit appearances. He could very easily have gone to an Ed Giovanola or someone like that here, give him an at-bat. Giovanola will probably be playing tomorrow night.
Probably so. He or Graffanino.
But the regulars will get pinch hit appearances now to try to stay sharp.
Down the third base line, long run for Andrews, and he's got room and makes the play. Belliard tags and draws a throw, but he's going to have to stay at first base. Nice play by Shane Andrews. 2 down.
A lot of foul territory here. You won't be seeing that at home games next year. That'll be about 10 rows back into the seats in the new ballpark.
Frank Johnson was talking about that before the game, Pete, about how originally there was even more foul territory.
I can show you where that was if there was more foul territory here. They moved the dugouts in, maybe 4 rows from where they are now, about maybe 15 years ago. If you look 4 rows back to where the dugouts are, there's a railing that's really kind of the permanent fence where the screen is. That railing is where the dugouts used to back up into. So there was, what was that, another 15, 20 feet?
Yeah.
Of foul territory that used to be here. They reconfigured that about 15 years ago.
Throw to first, Belliard's back. In fact, when the team moved here and Eddie Matthews was playing third base, Ernie said Eddie was heard to say, man, this foul territory is going to kill me playing third base.
You never had to worry about an inning beginning before the pitcher completed his warm-ups because it took so much longer for the pitcher to get out to the mound. It took a long time to get out there.
Belliard swiped second his last time on, and they're holding him close. Not going. The pitch hit hard and past Grizzolanek, who was leaning a little bit towards second. Ralphie's headed to third. He'll make it easy. Polonia halfway to second. Has to hustle back to first. Luis just watching to see what Rodriguez was going to do to the baseball. He was going to take second.
And Belliard hustling all the way, gets around to third. One of the comments in the clubhouse yesterday while the Braves were celebrating their 5th consecutive first place finish, we're saying, hey, for Rafael Belliard, who makes it from first to third on this base hit by Polonia, it's his 6th consecutive first-place finish. Remember, he was on the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1990, a first-place team. He has finished nowhere but first in the 90s.
And he is the guardian of the Braves bat rack in the clubhouse.
He is that.
His picture hangs prominently above the bat bin.
That is an official designation.
Yes, it is. And Jeff Blauser up there with 2 out, runners at the corners with a chance to give the Braves the lead. Breaking ball for a strike. You know, one thing that is against the Expos, at least in this ball game, Pete, the fact that the Braves are loose. Yeah, they've got a jumbled lineup tonight, some guys getting in there, but the fact that they are loose and they're willing to take some chances tonight. With the clincher coming yesterday.
And being 2 games behind San Diego, Montreal knows they have got to play extremely well this final week. They can't afford to lose 2 or 3.
Polonia back on the throw over.
What did their general manager tell you he felt was going to take?
Jim Beattie felt like they've got to win 6 out of 7.
And that's when you're 2 games back, you've got to think that way. Because the team ahead of you is probably going to at least go 4-3 down the final week.
Yes. There goes Polonia. The pitch is outside, a pump fake, but no throw. And Luis Polonia has a stolen base. His first of the year for the Braves. Expos are facing some real interesting playoff possibilities, too, if they tie with San Diego or if they tie with the Dodgers for the wild card spot. If they are tied with Los Angeles, the playoff game would be in Montreal on Monday after they complete play with the Braves on Sunday. Not so good if they tie with the Padres. Breaking ball in the dirt. Nice play by Fletcher. If they tie with San Diego, after the game on Sunday with Atlanta, they've got to fly to San Diego and play a 1-game playoff. If they win, then they are the wild card representative, and they open up at home on Tuesday. 2-1 to Blauser. 3-1 with Andrew Jones on deck. Blauser with a good pitch to hit. Runners at second and third. A little late on that one. 3-2. Jeff has a double. In 2 trips, he has scored a run. Hit a double off the glove of St. Andrews down the third base line his first time up. His last time up, I should say. It's Belliard at third. Polonia at second. Payoff hit. Hit hard up the middle. Base hit. And he scored 2. Jeff Blauser with his first RBIs since coming back. Gives the Braves the lead. 3-1. A little 2-out lightning for Atlanta here in the 5th inning.
Blauser said after the game yesterday he was so appreciative of 2 things. Number 1, the reception he got from the crowd when he was introduced after being out for 2 months. And number 2, the fact that Bobby Cox still had enough confidence in him to start him in a game that had playoff implications. A game the Braves had to win to stay in the playoffs. Said he'll remember that for the rest of his life. Well, he contributed yesterday, got that single that got that 4-run rally started. And he's 2 out of 3 tonight. His first 2 RBIs give the Braves a 3-1 lead.
A mutual admiration society between both of them. Bobby, the highest respect for Jeff Blauser. Andrew Jones, 4 hits yesterday, 0 for 2 today, but robbed of a hit first time up on a terrific play by Grizzolanek. Slider delivers, hit hard, but right at Shane Andrews, who goes to second for the out. Inning over. One thing this does, not only do the Braves have the lead as they go to the 6th, Greg Maddux has the lead too. He's out of the ball game, and Brad Klontz will come on. But Atlanta on top, 3-1.
Can MasterCard reward golfers?
To a golfer, there's no better feeling than a hole-in-one. Now, when you make an ace, you can join me as a member of the MasterCard Hole-in-One Club. Whether you make a hole-in-one or just give it your best shot, you can enter at participating golf shops to win a trip to Hawaii to see the MasterCard PGA Grand Slam. And be sure to use your MasterCard like I did.
The MasterCard PGA Grand Slam, November 12th and 13th on TBS.
Babonzito. Oh, parce que me voulait faire jeune gens, même journée là.
Language. It's how we communicate with each other. But not all of us speak the same one. So at Bell South, we have people you can reach who speak several languages, whether it's Creole or even English.
I'm so glad you helped me go.
Bell South, it's all here.
Are you all right, sir?
Isn't that heavenly?
I don't smell anything.
Precisely. Because Delta is the first U.S. airline to fly totally smoke-free worldwide. So it's clear skies anywhere you go.
Are you hyperventilating?
No, I'm English.
Oh.
We are going to the 6th inning. Let's take a look at tonight's Budweiser game summary. Braves on top by a score of 3-1. Mark Leiter, Greg Maddux, the pitchers of the first 5. Terry Pendleton and Jeff Blauser, they have the RBIs for Atlanta as we go to the 6th inning. And that's your Budweiser game summary. Brad Klontz on for a record-setting appearance, Joe. His 78th appearance. That breaks Rick Camp's mark of 77 pitching appearances.
Yeah, and I hope they put something up on the big screen about that, because Rick Camp is in the ballpark tonight. And I know that'd make him feel good, too, to know that he has been recognized for the record-setting appearance as Grizzolanek leads off the inning and fouls one off. This is a guy, Brad Klontz, that both Bobby and Leo Mazzoni are talking about needing some work to get straightened out. He has struggled a little bit in the last 6 weeks. Breaking ball, fouled back, 0-2.
Camp set that record back in 1980. So his record stood for 16 years before Clontz betters it tonight. I saw Rick earlier, but I can't find where he's sitting. Otherwise, we'd give you a shot of him.
Good pitch. Breaking ball struck out Grizzolana. Good start for Brad Clontz. Maddox 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run allowed. It was earned, no walks, and he fanned 2.
Yeah, Leo Mazzoni very careful to talk about not just his starting pitchers, getting them primed for postseason play, but also saying on Brad Clontz that we've got to get him some work, get him some innings, get him straightened out, and a good start here in the 6th inning for Brad.
Mike Lansing's 2 for 2, or he was off of Greg Maddox for the run scored. Takes a strike.
You know, you've got to be thick-skinned if you're a professional athlete of any sort, period. But Brad Clontz walked off the field after another ineffective outing the other night and heard boos. And he says the first time he's heard a Braves player booed all the time he's been here.
If that got to him a little bit, he has decided to come with a little vengeance tonight. 1-1 the count. David Segui on deck. And some activity in the Expos bullpen. Breaking ball misses, 2-1. Not only that, you got to be thick-skinned from old ball players too, as Blauser found out tonight.
Yeah, the old Barb's return as soon as you set foot in that dugout.
Dale Murphy was down in the dugout with me doing a pregame interview, saw Jeff and yelled to him. Ground ball wide to third. Pendleton's got it. Pirouettes, gets his man. Nice play, 2 down. Blauser had just taken his turn in the batting cage, was at first base. Murphy yelled to him and then said, "Hey, Jeff, don't be afraid to play in a game once in a while."
Yeah, Jeff and Murph were great friends when they were teammates for a couple of years.
Here's David Segui with 2 out. He has singled in 2 trips. Hitting .286. I thought the best line of the night yesterday in the clubhouse after the game was Greg Maddox's line about John Smoltz's day. Said he had a little league day. Pitched 8 innings, struck out 10 batters, hit a 3-run homer to win the game. That was a great description. Just missed the outside corner. 1-1. Dean Hartgraves in the Braves bullpen. We might see pitcher an inning for the rest of this game.
And you might see this format pretty much for the rest of the week because the Braves have some important roster decisions to make. They've got to get down to back into 25 by playoff time. They're only going to carry 10 pitchers. Of course, we know who the starters will be. We know that probably Steve Avery will move to the bullpen, at least initially. So that means only one other left-hander will be kept.
Nice pitch again by Clontz. He's got an easy comebacker and an easy inning. 1, 2, 3. That's a confident booster and a little morale builder for Brad Clontz. We've played 5.5 innings, and the Braves lead 3-1.
You're not into loud music, but you could be. You haven't been mountain biking, but you just might. You've never had all your friends over at once, but now you can. The 1996 Sonoma from GMC. Standard with driver's airbag, 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, and for a limited time, $600 cash back on most models. On-road, off-road, small stuff, bigger load. Get $600 cash back or special financing on most Sonomas. Now at your North Georgia GMC dealer.
I tell you about a dependable friend. My Carrier Home Comfort System. Your local Carrier dealer installs and services energy-efficient Carrier heat pumps. They're as dependable as they come. Of course, they won't fetch your slippers for you. Skipper's a little sensitive. Don't get caught in the cold. Call the heating experts, your local Carrier dealer, before November 15th and get up to $800 in rebates on the Choice Heat Pump System.
We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning here in Atlanta. Braves on top 3-1. A new pitcher for Montreal. Mark Leiter's night is over. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs allowed. No walks, 2 strikeouts. And left-hander Real Cormier will work the 6th. Cormier makes only his 4th relief appearance. He had 27 starts earlier in the year. You look at his numbers, the league hit .272 against him. A lot of things happen here at this ballpark. We're talking about the dugouts being moved around. Pete, you were talking the other night about some other strange goings-on to try to attract fans to the old ballpark, even the old ostrich races.
Those were our silks and our caps. And that was the bird that finished last.
Where's your broom?
And well, the broom, it's in my hand there somewhere, because the reason that panic-stricken look is on the face of that particular driver is because the ostriches will first pitch.
Ryan takes a strike from Cormier.
We were told when we got in those sulkies that the ostriches were trained to take 1 lap around and run to the truck, which was parked behind home plate. 3 out of the 4 ostriches did run to the truck and stop. That particular one did not. It just took off back out the first baseline again with one petrified young announcer going, whoa, or whatever I could think of to try to get him to stop. And Mike Marshall, who was on the team, it's the only time I ever saw Mike Marshall laugh out loud, the pitcher. Ted was in that race, too. He and Skip Carey had a close finish. And there was a dispute whether one of them illegally left the warning track and kind of short-circuited it back to the
corner a little bit. Well, all I know is I'd like to see that ostrich that Skip was behind.
Sent that to the Georgia Racing Commission and never heard from him, so we don't know what the eventual ruling on that was.
1-2 pitch, fouled at the plate. Ryan's still alive. Can I see that other picture, that close-up again one more time, guys? Because not only is that a good shot of Pete, but
look at the hair, huh?
How about Ern?
We had
Ernie.
They had nicknames on the back of each of those silks. They were all different colors. Mine said Pistol Pete. I can't remember what Ernie's said. Ernie's was the old right-hander or something like that. Skip was a part of that.
He knows.
That was quite an event. But if you're ever in one of those and you are told that all of those ostriches are trained to run to the truck and stop, don't believe a word of it.
That's foul. Klesko's still alive, 1-2.
What really had me worried was the gate down the right field corner was open. All I could picture was that thing going right through that gate and out onto I-85.
And there's Ernie. He's honing up for tonight's MC work after the ball game. Looks sharp in his tuxedo.
There it is. You get it to turn left by holding the broom alongside its right eye. If you want it to turn right, you hold the broom along its left eye. If you want it to stop, I can't help you.
Whoa, didn't work.
Nope.
2-2 to Klesko. We didn't miss anything. Klesko's leading off the inning and has a 2-2 count on him. He's 0 for 2 tonight and playing first base. Cardinals leading Cincinnati 2-0 after 5½. Good breaking ball got him swinging. Cormier comes in, registers a strikeout. And the batter will be Terry Pendleton, who delivered an RBI double with 2 out in the 4th.
Cormier trying to show Felipe Alou that he can be effective in this role, facing the left-hand hitters out of the bullpen. They moved the guy that was the left-hander to get left-handers out of the bullpen, Omar Dahl, into the starting rotation to try to get him to be a little more effective.
Terry's 1 for 2 tonight. His RBI was his 75th of the year. Oh, and 1. Dwight Smith on deck, 1 out, bottom of the 6th. 3-1 Braves.
Yeah, those promotional events were held back in the days when the team was losing 95 to 98 games a year. And Ted was looking for a way to try to get some more folks out to the ballpark. It worked. More folks did come out. They didn't necessarily stay for the game, at least for the whole game. But they did stick around. We had Carl Wallenda walk a wire all the way across the top of this stadium one time.
We got a picture of that.
There it is. And there you can see all the extra foul territory in the ballpark at that time when those dugouts were back right against that back railing. That was quite a night. That was between games of a doubleheader.
Did he go all the way across the stadium?
All the way across. Incredible. He was like 70 years old at the time.
2-1 to Pendleton.
We had a night where we had weddings at home plate before the game and professional wrestling matches after the game. That was dubbed Headlock and Wedlock Night.
Which was which?
We had a lot of fun back then. Games weren't much fun, but the activities around them sure were.
2-1 pitch hit off the end of the bat. Pendleton retired, 2 down. Well, you were talking about the atmosphere here tonight, about how it's a party atmosphere with a baseball game thrown in. It used to be certainly not that way. You mentioned something about the attendance too. You were telling me on the radio about the...
Yeah, we heard both Ernie and Bill Bartholomew on the field before the game refer to the fact that in the 31 years in this ballpark, 43 million fans have gone through the 43 million plus fans have gone through the turnstiles to watch Braves baseball. But 17 million plus have gone through those turnstiles in the last 6 years. That's what, about 40%?
Yeah.
In 6 out of the 31 years. So the nature of this game certainly has changed in this town.
Dwight Smith 0 for 2, but robbed of a hit his last time up on a great play by Rondell White. Dwight just needs some at-bats. Bobby concerned a little bit about Dwight's stroke right now, but primarily because he's not getting very many at-bats. And a week to remedy that.
Tell you another good story about a promotion. We have just a little more time than we do now.
Back to the pitcher. That'll end the inning, and we can weave a few more of these when we come back. From Atlanta, we played 6, and the Braves on top of the Expos, 3-1.
And now from Paris, from Milan, from St. Louis.
Introducing a new look from Budweiser, born on dating. It's the day your Bud was born, because fresh beer tastes better.
Nice label.
Thanks.
It's Nissan's model year-end blitz. Your local area Nissan dealers are bursting at the seams with tremendous deals they want to pass on to you. Right now, you can lease a 96 Sentra with air conditioning, AM/FM cassette, and cruise control for no down payment and only $159 a month for 36 months and a $350 acquisition fee. You better not wait. The clock is running. This deal ends September 30th. Visit your local area Nissan dealers today.
If you have a child who gets hurt and it starts to swell, try rice. That's rest, ice, compression, and elevation. But if that doesn't help, call your child's doctor. And if necessary, come to one of the Eccleston Children's Healthcare Centers open in neighborhoods around Atlanta. Call 321-4444 for the center and pediatrician nearest you.
We go to the 7th inning. Let's take a look at the Hardee's leaderboard. Tonight's subject is the National League home runs allowed leaders. Mark Leiter out of the game now, had allowed 35 coming into his start tonight. Did not allow one tonight. But a comfortable lead over Pete Harnish and Todd Stottlemyre and Steve Traxel in that category. And as we go to the 7th, Brad Klont's going to get another inning of work, and he'll face Moises Alou, Henry Rodriguez, and Rondell White. And here's Pete.
Okay, Joe, Alou so far tonight has struck out and hit into a 1-6-3 double play. Braves leading at 3-1. In the air, down the right field line, Dwight Smith drifting back. He's on the warning track, and he's got it for the out. And while you're looking at that right field area, we had another promotion here one night where the picnic area used to be, which is now where a lot of the cameramen and security people station themselves as Bobby Cox makes his way to the mound. They put a great big above-ground pool out there full of water, and the idea was there were going to be 5 or 6 little metal boxes at the bottom of that pool, one of which was going to contain a key to an automobile. And they drew lucky numbers for 6 fans who were willing to dive into that pool and try to come up with that key. Only problem was in about the 4th or 5th inning of the game, that above-ground pool ruptured and the water just spewed out into right field, causing a near flood. We have a delay here. A fan has run onto the field. Security about to take care of that. And Dean Hartgraves becomes the new Atlanta pitcher.
Finding oneself alone in this world can be terrifying.
Poor thing, you must have fallen out.
His born-on date told me he was quite young, and I knew I must return him to his family to ensure he's consumed at optimum freshness.
I don't see him, do you?
Excuse me, he's lost.
Lost beer coming through. See him? We'll find him any minute. I can feel it. Excuse me. Don't give up. Hey, who's missing a bottle? We got a lost bottle here.
Budweiser. Brewery fresh taste. Strictly enforced.
Don't worry, little fella. We'll find him.
The Mercury Challenge is on. We challenge you to find a better deal on a better equipped car. Low 3.9% APR financing or big $1,500 cash back on the award-winning Mercury Sable sedan or wagon, but only until October 1st. It's the roomiest Sable ever with a powerful standard V6 that goes 100,000 miles between scheduled tune-ups. Low 3.9% APR or $1,500 cash back. But hurry, this offer ends October 1st.
Imagine yourself in a Mercury now.
Braves leading at 3-1. A couple of more former Atlanta Braves in your picture. Mike Lum, he's got his head turned right now. You can't see his face. A couple seats away from him is Terry Harper. Spent several years here, a Douglasville native who was a very popular player when he was here in Atlanta. Suffered the most unique injury I've ever seen in my life. He dislocated his shoulder once, waving a runner home on a wild pitch while standing in the batter's box.
No kidding.
Right. Well, here's Dean Hartgraves, third pitcher of the night for Atlanta. Making his 35th appearance. He's 1-0, a .529 earned run average. Terry was a member of that 1982 team that won 13 straight, went on to win a division.
You know, when I asked Dale Murphy about that before the ball game, about his personal highlights in this ballpark, memorable moments, he didn't mention one individual point.
No, he wouldn't. I bet he mentioned 82.
He mentioned 82 and winning 13 in a row.
But I will never forget about that year. The season ended in San Diego for Atlanta with a loss. And the Braves had to hang around in San Diego to see if the Dodgers would lose. That was when Joe Morgan hit the home run that won the game for the Giants over the Dodgers. And that put the Braves into the playoffs by 1 game. Rodriguez hit by the pitch from Hartgraves.
And in a bad spot. See so many hitters who start to go into their swing and the ball rides up and in on them. They can't get out of the way and it hits them on the hand or the wrist, a la Jeff Blauser.
That was exactly the way Jeff Blauser hurt his hand. Looks like it's just about half or below the wrist. The glove. Here it comes.
Well, they can ill afford to lose him. Again, he started to go into a swing and then he couldn't move as the ball rode up and in on him. It's his left hand, his top hand. And he's right on top of the plate. You can see that there's very little room for error, and Hartgraves probably trying to move him back off the plate, trying to pitch him inside.
Felipe Alou out to check now to see if he's going to be able to stay in the game. He's got a lot of wrap around the wrist there. It looks like he's got a tape as well as the wrist guards.
Boy, if it hit those wristbands, the sweat bands, that would help a lot because they're fairly padded, but it may have hit right in between the batting glove and those bands.
Well, it looks like he's going to try to stay in. And Rondell White will be the hitter.
Nightmarish flashbacks for Jeff Blauser because it came against the Expos when he was plunked.
So a runner at first with 1 out for Rondell White, who was grounded to second and single. But back to that 82 season, Joe, about Dale Murphy. This why it doesn't surprise me he wouldn't talk about individual honors. That was the first year Murphy won the MVP award. He had a sensational year, carried the Braves virtually at times for weeks at a time. And when that season was over and the Braves had won by 1 game, the Braves had to fly from San Diego to St. Louis to open the playoffs. And on that flight, Dale Murphy went to every player on the team and remembered something that they did to win a game and said, that's the one game we won by. the game that you pitched the 9th inning and got the 3 outs, or the game that you hit the pinch hit home run in, so that he made every player on the team feel that they were the ones responsible for winning that division.
That's terrific.
Here's the pitch to White. 1 ball, no strikes. Three runs, 6 hits for Atlanta, 1 run, 4 hits for Montreal. Terrell Wade is up in the Atlanta bullpen. Ground ball, third. Pendleton over to second, in time there. Belliard on to first, in time there. Double play.
Good stretch by Ryan Klesko.
And the inning is over. And now it's 7th inning stretch time on this final regular season home game in Atlanta.
Louis, our oldest girl, she broke her neck in a car accident. Now she's having fun with her daughter's wedding.
It's been wonderful since the surgery. I don't have to think about my neck anymore. I got Aflac through work. When you need it, it's a blessing.
Aflac Insurance helps fill the gaps other insurance doesn't cover, so you can get on with life.
I think she's too young.
I think they're ready. As long as me, I just want a room.
You know, more professionals use Napa parts than any other. And that makes all of our customers feel good about our quality. They know what it takes to fix it right the first time.
Get your ride ready for the season at the right price, too, at Napa's tailgate sale. With Napa halogen headlights for only $4.99. And STP gas treatment, buy one, get one free after rebate. So head to your nearby Napa Auto Parts store for fall savings at the tailgate sale.
We keep America running.
Life. It's not the sort of thing that shuts down at 5. So at Bell South, we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you ever need to reach us, just give us a call. Anytime. Bell South, it's all here.
We are going to the bottom half of inning 7. Braves leading at 3-1. We have one change for Montreal for precautionary measures, I'm sure. Henry Rodriguez coming out of the game, and F.P. Santangelo taking over in left field for Montreal. And we also have a new pitcher, Ugueth Urbina, a right-hander, replacing Real Cormier. And during the 7th inning stretch, the crowd was led, instead of, well, they just sang Take Me Out to the Ball Game, but before they got into that, Ted's idea tonight was to have everybody sing Old Lang Syne this final night in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. He told me there won't be a dry eye in the place. Well, the Braves are leading 3-1, so everybody's still smiling.
Well, everybody was singing, too.
Yes, they were.
That was a good touch.
Eddie Perez will lead off here in the bottom of the 7th. Perez tonight is grounded out to third and flying to left. Urbina was in the starting rotation when he first came up to the Expos this year, but he's been a little bit more effective for them out of the bullpen. His record good at 10-5, a 3.75 ERA. This will be his 12th relief appearance in 29 games. And the Expos' problem, as it is for so many teams who have pretty good starting pitching and a good closer, there are so many teams who say all we have to do is find a way to get from our starter to that closer. Get that guy that can go in there and get people out in the 7th and 8th inning, and Urbina's been that guy for Montreal lately. 0-2 pitch to Perez. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Little payback.
Yep.
Little payback, and Eddie fortunate to get out of the way. Came on an 0-2 pitch when he might be looking for a breaking ball. And you can see Bobby's response. 0-2 pitch, you're thinking breaking ball hanging out over the plate, and that was a face ball. But didn't hit him. Close enough just to send the message, and that ought to be adequate. No warning from Charlie Relaford. He's a big league umpire, understands how this works and probably figures the score is even.
A ball, 2 strikes on Perez. Still 1-2.
And something else. These are 2 guys. I believe Urbina is from Venezuela too, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Two countrymen. So letting his teammates know that does not come into his thinking on this.
In the air, down the left field line. Santangelo, who just checked into the game, is under it. He's got it.
You know what I like about this? I mean, this is baseball. It happens this way, and it has happened this way for 100+ years. But I like the fact that Charlie Relaford didn't overreact. Eddie wanted to respond in his own way to the brushback pitch, but the slate is clean, and Charlie Relaford did not have to go crazy trying to warn everybody.
Belliard tonight getting a start at second base, 2 for 2. That pitch up and in. Belliard ducking out of the way, fouls it back.
Hopefully that was just a mistake.
But you can see the concern in Bobby's face.
Once was enough. Rafi fortunate to get out of the way of that, in that it hit his bat and not his body. That got everybody's attention.
Let's hope this doesn't deteriorate into something. Got the fastball by him, the count 0-2.
You know, the one thing that I thought of when you look at the 5-game series at the end of the year with so much riding on it was I wondered if over the course of the first 3 games or 4 games something might happen, but fortunately nothing had, at least not to this point.
And this one back out of play, still 0-2.
And you can see just how intimidated Rafi was. He's been going for the fences the next 2 swings.
You can tell by the looks on the Braves' faces in the dugout that they're all a little bit concerned. You don't want to start having this kind of thing happen where you might lose a player a week before you go into postseason. And you've also got 3 games left for them up in Montreal next weekend where this could be continued.
Right.
If something like this begins tonight. But it looks like Urbina is settled down the last couple of pitches, still 0-2.
Goodness, I think that foul ball went right through the screen, Pete.
That means it's time for a new ballpark.
Yes, it does.
Here's the 0-2. Got him on a breaking ball.
That's more irritating than anything to a hitter. If you get brushed back a little bit or you get knocked down and you're not able to respond at least with a hard hit ball, that makes you even madder at yourself more than anything else.
Now Ed Giovanola will come on to pinch hit for Dean Hartgraves. Giovanola 230 on the year, no homers, 6 RBIs, 4-13. Pretty good pinch hit numbers, over 300 as a pinch hitter.
Well, he was doing such a good job pinch hitting that Bobby used him more in the lineup back when Lemke had the bad thumb. Put him in the lineup on a consistent basis, and his numbers suffered a little bit after that, but he was doing a great job off the bench.
Terrell Wade will be the next Atlanta pitcher. One ball, no strikes. Sellout crowd tonight again, 49,083 on hand for the regular season finale. That'll get the Braves right at about $2.9 million for the year. Right through there for a called strike, 1-1.
And with Olympic tickets being sold and early in the year being, I think, attendance being hurt by that a little bit, $2.9 million I think is outstanding.
Two and one, the count on Ed Giovanola, pinch hitting for Hartgraves.
One thing Dale Murphy did say to me that struck me, Pete, was he said, you know, it would be a little bit hard to drive by here and not see the stadium. Just see the parking lot or whatever is built in its place.
Down the right field line, fair ball off the bat of Giovanola. He's headed for second. Alou gets the ball back to the infield. Pinch hit double for Ed Giovanola, his second double of the year.
You know, has he had an at-bat since he came back from Richmond? If he has, and not more than one, I wouldn't say, or I wouldn't guess. And he came in and laced one down and in. Good swing.
That's hard to do when you've been sitting for a while.
Boy, I mean to tell you.
Now we go back to the top of the order now. Luis Polonia, who has struck out, grounded out the first and singled. Back to what you were saying about Murphy, though. I can understand that. Your memories lie with the ballpark when you're a retired player. The ballpark you spent, especially when you spent almost your entire career there, like Murph did here. And in a couple of years, when he drives by this site, there's a parking lot there. I can relate to that. My fraternity house was torn down last time I went back to the old campus at Cornell. There's a parking lot there now. Kind of an empty feeling, but you don't forget the days you had there. 1 ball, no strikes.
That place was so hot, though, they had to tear it down.
Yeah. 2 men out, runners second. Braves leading at 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th.
Spontaneous combustion.
Count goes to 2-0. I think he just couldn't take any more eggs. The look in by Urbina. And the 2-0 pitch is low, and the count 3-0. I think fans are, certainly there'll be things they'll miss and memories they'll have about this place, but I think it's going to take just a very, very short time for them to really fall in love with the new place.
I agree. I think once those folks who have never been in the ballpark get there and find their way around, it will be home.
3-0 pitch. Inside corner, 3-1.
Largely because a lot of the faces will remain the same in the Braves uniforms.
And they continue to tear down portions of Olympic Stadium to get ready to reconfigure it for baseball. Now to first with a walk goes Polonia. Runners first and second. And Jeff Blauser will be the hitter. He has grounded out to short, doubled and singled. His single drove into that gave the Braves the lead back in the 5th inning.
I think Urbina's just wild tonight, Pete. The first one to Eddie Perez, I think, was a purpose pitch. I think after that, it has been purely unintentional. He can't get the ball over. And they cannot afford to fall farther behind.
Foul back by Blauser. The count 0-1.
Dave Baker, our radio engineer, had a great line for Blauser last night after the game. In the clubhouse, he asked him, he said, well, now that you guys have clinched, do you think you'll take a few days off to get ready for the playoffs?
He's had far too many of those lately. Here's the 0-1 on the way. Tried to stop his swing, but he went around. 0-2. Barry Manuel up now in the Expos bullpen.
Was it Manuel that hit Blauser? Was it
Jeff Juden? Jeff Juden hit him. The 0-2. Foul back, still 0-2. Two men out, runners first and second, bottom half of inning 7. Braves up 3-1. Urbina steps off the rubber. Braves will leave after this game, not right after, because they're going to be taking part in some of the post-game ceremonies, but in the wee mornings of the hours in the morning, they'll arrive in Florida to open up that 3-game series tomorrow. Finish up the regular season in Montreal and hopefully know by the end of the game Sunday in Montreal where they're going to open the playoffs. Will it be San Diego, Los Angeles, or St. Louis? Playoffs will open 1 week from Wednesday for Atlanta. Good breaking ball. Caught Blauser looking. Second strikeout of the inning for Urbina. Braves strand a couple. We go to the 8th inning. Still 3-1 Braves.
Art is soul food. No, not sweet potato pie. Folk art, outsider art, Gallery 721. Can I help you? Scott and myself. We're the owners. We're the phone operators. No attitude. There's no ego. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Welcome to the small business world. Gallery 721.
Hi, Scott.
Alice at Bell South. She's so important to us. Watches what our business is doing and how we're growing. It's almost like we have our own communication specialists, but they don't show up for their check.
What if you could take on a whole new image? Would you be more elegant? More dynamic? More comfortable? What if you could make these changes and still hold on to what's inside? Introducing the new Q45 from Infiniti. One of the world's best performing luxury cars has an almost entirely new identity.
We go to the 8th inning here in Atlanta. Time to check the Delta scoreboard. Limited action in the major leagues tonight. In the National League, only 2 other games. Chicago leading Pittsburgh, trying to snap their 11-game winning streak in the 9th inning. They go to the bottom of the 8th at Cincinnati. Cardinals turning the tricks on the Reds tonight, shutting them out. In the American League, it's a final. Baltimore loses 8-7. Minnesota and Cleveland tied at 6 in the top of the 7th. Toronto over Detroit. And one other game, Boston, New York, with certainly playoff ramifications there, tied in the 7th. Yankees can pick up a game as Baltimore has lost.
Like that phrase.
Little southern flavor there.
Terrell Wade facing Andy Stankiewicz on the pinch hit as we go to the 8th inning. And he takes ball 1. Wade, who started 8 games this year when Steve Avery was out, 5-0, a 270 earned run average. And if you've been watching all season, you know that from time to time, control could be a problem. Down goes to 2-1. You made the point the other night, Joe, that Terrell's control usually better out of the bullpen than it was when he was in the rotation. There's a fly ball on the right field line by Stankiewicz and up into the crowd.
Well, you know what, Pete? It's funny how sometimes when you, and I wasn't a pitcher, but related to some other things, sometimes you have a little better control of yourself, whether it's a golf swing or in this case pitching, if you just stick to fundamentals and you're throwing the ball over for strikes. Suddenly you get loose and you get a little wild with your mechanics, or you get a little long in your golf swing and try to kill the ball, and you start spraying it around a little.
Off the handle towards short, fielded by Blauser on the first in time.
And not that he doesn't come in from the bullpen loose, he does, but I think as the innings wore on Terrell, his mechanics broke down a little bit, and that's what caused some of his wildness problems.
He's got the first out here in the 8th inning. And now Shane Andrews, who has grounded out to second and popped to second. Wade delivers. Strike at the knees, 0-1. When he has his control, he is at times unhittable. He's only given up 54 hits in 67 innings this year.
Well,
Good fastball.
Yeah, his fastball has great life on it when he's got it down. When his fastball is low, it is difficult because it moves a little better. difficult to hit.
Fouled back by Andrews, still 0-2. F.P. Santangelo on deck. 3-1 Atlanta in the 8th. Slowly down the third base line. It is going to roll foul. The count remains 0-2.
Expos, while all this has been going on, 2 runs down and down to their last 5 outs. So they need base runners desperately.
2 games out in the wild card race behind San Diego. Padres are idle tonight. Open up a series at home against Colorado tomorrow night, while the Expos open up a series in Philadelphia. That's what the wild card race looked like going into tonight's game. And down on strikes Andrews. Second out of the inning. And now F.P. Santangelo will bat for the first time.
As you watch the strikeout, it looked like he took a little off his fastball there. The only inning tonight that the Expos have had more than 1 base runner on was in the 4th when they got their run.
They've been held to 4 hits. Maddox worked the first 5 innings, allowing a run on 4 hits. Klontz an inning in the 3rd, no runs or hits. Hargraves 2/3 of an inning, no runs or hits. And now Wade tries for a 1-2-3 inning. Mike Bilecki up now in the Atlanta pen.
Not a bad idea by Santangelo. Again, they need a couple of runs. Top of the order coming up behind him.
Popped him up. Let's see if it'll stay in play for Perez. He throws the mask away, has room, makes the catch. 1-2-3 inning for Terrell Wade. Braves bullpen has pitched very well tonight. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Still 3-1 Atlanta.
Atlanta Braves baseball, brought to you by the new Dodge. From products like Piper and the new Caravan to Dodge Ram, we're thinking ahead.
Dodge Ram is #1 in resale versus Ford, Chevy, and GMC. #1 in available horsepower. #1 in available torque, even available payload and overall power. In fact, Dodge Ram is #1 in more categories than any full-size pickup. So we'd like to thank everyone for making Dodge pickups #1 in sales growth all across America. During the Dodge Summer Clearance, get up to $14.57 in package value discounts on Dodge Ram.
Select the proper impact device and position it parallel to your head at approximately 46 degrees. Describe a preliminary downward arc. Grasp the impact recipient well below the point of impact. Place its machine ground point against the desired surface. Seat recipient. Remove hand from impact zone and
you know, just about anything can be made to seem complicated.
Fully penetrates the surface.
A computer doesn't have to be one of them. The Acer Note Lite with the Intel Pentium processor.
Thank you. I've just had this most extraordinary phone call from Delta Airlines. It seems they have this intrepid team of meteorologists who spotted a weather problem ahead on my next flight. So they moved things around and then actually rang me up with a reroute. Now, instead of sitting and circling, I'll continue whining and dining and still stick to my schedule. Very civilized, wouldn't you say? Cheers.
We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning, maybe the last inning in a regular season that the Braves will hit here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Moises Alou has moved to left field. We have a new right fielder. Vladimir Guerrero takes over there. A new catcher, Tim Spear. And the new pitcher, Mel Rojas, who has been a very effective closer for Montreal this year. His 71st appearance, 7-4 with 33 saves, the last 20 of them consecutive without blowing a save. The last save he blew, in fact, was here in Atlanta back in July, just before the Braves went on that long road trip.
How bad a sign is this, though, for Montreal in this series when this is his first appearance in these 5 games? You would like to think that he would be in at least 3 or 4 of them to close out wins. That has not been the case. In fact, the only win they have in this series came in Game 1 with Urbina on the mound when they rallied for 4 runs in the 9th.
So Rojas makes his first appearance of the series down by 2 runs. And Andrew Jones will lead it off. Jones tonight 0 for 3. He is grounded out to short, bounced to the pitcher, hit into a 5-4 force play. One ball, no strikes. At the conclusion of our telecast tonight, we will be showing you a fond farewell to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. A lot of rare footage. Put your VCRs ready. We will also have time to show you a little bit of the post-game ceremonies here. 1-2 the count.
I'm just going to say, Pete, the reason he did not close out the game on Thursday night was that with a 4-run lead, they didn't want to risk using him up when they might need him the next night or the night after that.
Yeah, he was up in the 8th inning,
yeah,
just in case it was a close 1-run game or something like that going into the 9th. But Montreal got that big 4-run 9th and kept Urbina in there.
Felipe Alou's nephew. No, Rojas.
Here's the 1-2. Outside 2-2. This is a bit of an odd night. We're supposedly saying farewell to this ballpark, but we're going to be right back here in 2 weeks. Postseason play.
Thank goodness.
And the Braves hoping to send off this ballpark in a big way if they can repeat what they did last year. Here's the 2-2. Popped him up. Right side of the infield, David Segui making the call. And the catch. Now Ryan Plesko, he's gone 0 for 3 at the plate, playing at first base tonight. He's made a couple of nice plays at first base, and he hasn't played there in a while. When he was coming up in the minor leagues, though, Bobby Cox was getting very good reviews of Ryan defensively as a first baseman. He's shown some of those instincts tonight. Made a good play on a ground ball that he speared and got a good throw down to second base for a force play.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to get an out at first, so that was an excellent play to get the lead runner.
Fouls the first one back, 0-1. One man out, bases empty in the bottom of the 8th. Due up in the 9th inning for Montreal, the top of their order. Grzelcyk, Lansing, and Segui.
He had a bat down in the dugout before the game that was specially made for him by one of the bat companies that supplies bats to Ryan. And it was about 4 feet long, maybe 4.5 feet long, and I bet it weighed 80 ounces. Just about right for Ryan or Dale Murphy.
Here's the 1-1. Home run cut comes up empty. 1-2. There it is. not hard to find.
No. That's a big stick.
It will protect the outside part of the plate.
Good coverage with that one.
Upstairs, 2-2. Line into right field, base hit for Klesko. Guerrero fields, gets it back to the infield. Ryan aboard with a 1-out single. Hit number 8 for Atlanta. And it'll bring up Terry Pendleton. He had a run-scoring double back in the 4th inning.
What did he do to his hand? He's shaking his right hand like he hurt it on this swing, maybe on the follow-through. That one-handed follow-through. He reached for this ball, and then the head of the bat came around, and he was shaking his right wrist a little bit as he got to first.
One man out, Klesko aboard. Here's Pendleton. One ball, no strikes.
Big smile on Terry Pendleton's face in the clubhouse yesterday after the game. Exactly what he was hoping for when he came back to Atlanta. And he's been there to the postseason with this club before.
One ball, no strikes. Evens the count 1-1. Center field, Alou and White converging. It's going to be Alou making the call and the catch. For out number 2, Klesko back to first. And that'll bring up Dwight Smith. He was grounded out to first, fly to center, bounced back to the pitcher. Center fielder Rondell White robbed him of at least a base hit, probably extra bases, with a diving catch back in the 4th inning.
White just needs some swings. He needs to see some pitches. Get his strike zone back. One of the things that I've noticed in the batting cage, Pete, when he has been scuffling of late, has been maybe he's over-swinging a little bit. And I think that's a natural tendency if you're having a hard time getting hits, or especially if you're hitting the ball hard and they're not falling in, as has been the case for Dwight the last few days.
It's been frustrating for him. It's been like a month, over a month, that he's been struggling.
The unfortunate thing is that when you do hit one hard, you can't guide it. And he was robbed of a hit earlier tonight by Rondell White, who made a great play.
Here's the 0-2 on the way. Struck him out. Rojas records his first strikeout. That's it for Atlanta in the 8th inning. And Mike Bielecki is going to get the chance to close the deal here in the 9th inning. He's eligible for his 2nd save of the year.
This Wednesday on Superstation TBS.
Destroy Superman.
Don't miss the thrilling adventures of Superman 3 and 4. This Wednesday, beginning at 8:05 Eastern, turn to TBS.
Celebrating 50 years of the NBA. The season begins November 1st on TNT and TBS.
You know, more professionals use Napa parts than any other. And that makes all of our customers feel good about our quality. They know what it takes to fix it right the first time.
Get your ride ready for the season at the right price, too, at Napa's tailgate sale. With Napa motor oil for only 89 cents a quart, and this limited edition Napa 500 racing poster free with any purchase. So head to your nearby Napa Auto Parts store for fall savings at the tailgate sale.
We keep America running.
Right here, right now, clean sweep. We're clearing out the last of the 96 models with great savings, like cash back as high as $3,000 on Chrysler LHS with a long list of standard luxury features. Or get financing as low as 1.9%, or low lease rates on Chrysler Town & Country. $3,000 cash back, or 1.9% financing, or low lease rates. Right here, right now, it's the 96 Clean Sweep, only at your Chrysler dealer.
We go to the 9th inning. Couple more changes for Atlanta. Jermaine Dye takes over in right field. And the new pitcher, right-hander Mike Bielecki, eligible for a save here. He has one save this year, making his 38th appearance. He's had a good year, 4-3 with a .275 earned run average. Unfortunately, we've got a delay here while another fan is escorted off the field. Well, you're going to like the new place across the street.
Yes, you are.
And that one will have real grass, too. No turf, no dome. Mark Grizzolanek will lead off. 0 for 3 on the night. He has fly to center, bounced to the pitcher, and struck out. Here's that bat that you were talking about, Joe.
Isn't it a beauty? That'll give you some plate coverage.
Well, here we go in the top of the ninth. Montreal fighting for their playoff lives here, trying to get back in this one. The Braves already assured of getting into postseason play as the East Division champion. Grizzolanek shows bunt, takes ball one.
Well, if you were going to start a ninth inning, this is how Felipe Alou would want it to start, trailing by a couple runs. Give me the top of the order and get my table setters up there.
Pops up foul, and not a play.
All year long, the key to the Montreal offense has been Grizzolanek and Lansing getting on base. They don't have a lot of home run hitters. They don't have a lot of power on this ball club, but these guys have been getting on, stealing bases, hitting and running.
1-2.
And it's ironic that in the last game of this series, desperate for a win, it's up to them to get on base, trailing by 2.
And you can see how important it's been when you look at the runs scored on this team. 2-2 the count. The two top men in runs scored, Mark Grizzolanek with 98, Mike Lansing with 96. That's exactly how the Expos have scored a lot of their runs. Here's the 2-2. Foul back. It remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Stays alive, still 2-2.
He's done that most of this series when he's been behind in the count. This stage of the game anyway, normally against Mark Wohlers, he's been thinking about nothing but right field.
It remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sellout crowd tonight. Everybody sticking around for the post-game ceremonies. You'll be able to watch them too here on TBS, a good portion of them. We may not be able to stay for all of it, but we certainly will for much of it. It remains 2-2. Toward short. Blauser on to first. Close. Just got him.
Boy, Jeff took an extra step to get his feet under him and almost cost him.
Out number 1 in the 9th inning.
I don't know if he was a little off balance after that, but took an extra crow hop. And with a fast runner, a half-step difference.
Now Mike Lansing, who has singled twice tonight and grounded out to third. Little loop into shallow center. Rafael Belliard drifting back and makes a nice catch for out number 2.
Nice play, Rafi. That gets them on their feet. He is a winner. Not bragging, just check the record.
2 men out. The last hope for the Expos is David Segui, who is 1 for 3 tonight, and a single back in the 4th inning. And listen to the crowd. They want to see the Braves wrap up the season finale here in this ballpark with a victory. And they want the party to begin. In the left center field, Segui keeps Montreal alive. Over quickly is Polonia, gets it back to the infield, holds Segui to a long single. So Segui with his 7th hit of this series.
And you saw him right there. He got to first, and he looked in. He says, "Come on, Mo, let's go." He's talking about Moises Alou. While the Braves fans may think, well, he just delayed the party. What could happen here is he just set the table perhaps for a game tire.
Alou is struck out, hit into a 1-6-3 double play, and flying to right. How important is this game for Montreal? Well, if they lose it, in the wild card race, San Diego's magic number would be 4. And he combination of 4 Padre wins and 4 Padre wins and Expo losses, and the Expos would be eliminated.
Moises Alou, a good first pitch fastball hitter, likes the first pitch. When he hit his home run off of Ponce the other night, he was first pitch swinging and drove Dwight Smith back to the fence with a first pitch fly ball last time out.
Here's the pitch on the way. Look at the flashbulbs going on. How about this? In the first regular season game ever played here in 1966, the first hitter for the Pittsburgh Pirates was Matty Alou. There are 2 outs in the 9th inning. Moises Alou at the plate in the last regular season game ever played in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium.
Wow, that's great, Pete.
0-2 the count.
Did Felipe lead off for the Braves in the bottom of the inning?
Felipe did. Moises was born here in 1966 when Felipe was playing in Atlanta. 2 outs, 9th inning. The 0-2 pitch to Moises Alou on the way. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's like a Christmas show of lights.
Everybody trying to get a picture of the final pitch.
And it's very difficult for Moises Alou to concentrate when all that's going on. Advantage by Lecky.
The stretch. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. Whoa, where was that pitch? 2-2.
Bilecki was posed for the picture. He followed through. He thought he had the strikeout. A little bit off the plate.
Good call.
Yeah.
2-2 the count. 2 men out in the 9th. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. A little bit low, and it's full 3-2.
Shifts back to Alou now. Mike wants to throw a strike. Doesn't want to put the tying run on.
The stretch. And the 3-2 pitch, fly ball, deep right center field, going back Jermaine Dye. He's got it. And the Atlanta Braves have won the regular season finale at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. It all started in April of 1966 with Matty Alou. It all ends in 1996 with Moises Alou.
A great tribute out behind second base with all the players. Our AutoZone player of the game is their home. Atlanta Fulton County Stadium is our AutoZone player of the game for tonight. Over 45 million fans in 30 years plus. Congratulations. Glad everybody was here to see it tonight that came to the ballpark. We'll be back with post-game festivities right after this.
Another subtle reminder to change your oil. Q-Lube, the quality of Quaker State and an oil change.
Freshness hotline, what's the problem?
Man, my party is lame. I think I got some skunky beer.
Sir, relax. When was your beer born?
Born? What are you talking about?
It doesn't have a born-on date?
A what?
Do you have any Budweiser?
No, man, you gotta help me.
Okay, remain calm, sir. We're on our way.
New Born on Dating from Budweiser, because fresh beer tastes better.
No! Sir, put down the skunky beer and slowly back away.
Announcing Lincoln Reward Days. Time for our biggest Lincoln savings of the year. Now lease your choice of Lincolns for only $4.99 a month with an equally remarkable $4.99 down. Choose Lincoln Town Car at Consumers Digest Best Buy. Just $4.99 a month, $4.99 down. Or select the impressive Lincoln Continental or exhilarating Lincoln Mark 8. Your choice, just $4.99 a month with only $4.99 down. So take your pick, but don't take your time, because Lincoln Reward Days end soon.
Another subtle reminder to change your oil. Q-Lube, the quality of Quaker State and an oil change.
Totals for the last regular season game. Braves a winner, 3-1. They left 6 men on base. The Expos stranded 3. Greg Maddux is the winner in the last regular season game. Mark Leiter took the loss. Mike Bilecki the save, his second save of the year. And the Braves 56-25 this last year here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. That's an all-time record for most wins at home. Braves starters, by the way, with a win by Maddux tonight in their last 10 games, 8-0 with a 1.95 ERA. And mercy, if that continues, you'd like to see that going into postseason. The Braves have won 8 of their last 9, so maybe the taste of all of that bad time that the Braves had for a couple of weeks, Pete, seems to be behind them. They've got the pitching working, and when that's working, you don't have to score a lot of runs. The Braves score 3 tonight and pick up a W.
No, that's been the key, and as we mentioned a couple of times during the game, Bobby Cox and Leo Mazzoni now have the luxury of being able to give their pitchers, their starting pitchers, just enough work to keep them sharp for postseason, give the bullpen men enough work to keep them sharp for postseason, and give the everyday players as well a chance to get a couple of games off, give some of the bench guys some extra at-bats to sharpen their skills for postseason play.
And certainly if you're a Braves fan, you've got to like what you're seeing right now, because they've been able, they would have liked to have clinched it a week or so ago, yes, but at least you've got a few games here where you can get everybody well rested, you can get some guys sharp off the bench as well, and get them some at-bats like a Dwight Smith, get Jeff Blauser ready, and he certainly has been swinging the bat well the last 2 games since he's been back. But a great night all the way around, a great way to send this stadium off in terms of the regular season with a win and a well-played ball game, no errors on either side. And Pete, compliments to you, man. That was a great point you brought up about Moises Alou, the last hitter in this ballpark in the regular season when his uncle Matty was the first hitter ever in this stadium.
I think that's incredible for a regular season to begin in 1966 and end in 1996 with 2 members of the same family. Ted Turner, the owner of the Atlanta Braves, is going to join us now from down in the dugout. Ted, Pete Van Weeren, and Joe Simpson up here in the booth. First of all, congratulations on another division title, which I know you're very proud of.
Yes.
And second of all, how does this night feel to you? You spent so many nights of your life in this ballpark. How does it feel?
Well, it's really kind of sad because there were a lot of great moments in this ballpark. Of course, there were a lot of last place finishes too. It ran the whole gamut, and you know, but you couldn't help but be sad to see it come to an end.
And you remembered that Matty Alou was the first hitter here, huh?
Well, I was not here at the exact first game.
But how ironic that an Alou started it and ended it.
That's right. It really is.
Well, Ted, in all your years here, and you first became involved with this ball club in 1976, did you ever think, I know you dreamt it, but did you ever think the dream would come true of having what has become somewhat of a dynasty in these 90s? And that's very hard to do in sports nowadays. 5 straight division winners.
I know. It's only been done twice before, right?
Yankees and the A's, right?
And if we do it next year, we'll break all the records. So, but I really had confidence that we'd win. Of course, it took us about 15 years to really get it rolling right, but we weren't losing all those early years. We were just learning how to win.
Do you ever think back to some of the early years and some of the crazy promotions we went through here to try to get people in this ballpark, the ostrich races and the baseball Olympics and the frog jumping contests and the home plate weddings and all that?
I remember it all.
And by the way, who did win that ostrich race? You or Skip?
No, it wasn't Skip. It was a guy with the Philadelphia Phillies, and I won by about 20 feet. I think it was their catcher.
Okay. We wanted to get that straight.
Ted, as you look forward to moving across the street to the new ballpark next year, it's going to be the dawn of a new era, not only for the Atlanta Braves, but for you as an entrepreneur. Your company has now merged with Time Warner. What are the plans for this ball club under the new ownership?
Well, I've been assured by the people at Time Warner that everything will stay pretty much the same. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I don't think this organization needs any fixing. So I think that they'll just let us keep implementing the policies that have made us successful in the past. Of course, you know, dynasties are made to come to an end, and someday it will end. But you know, it still looks like it's a ways away, but, you know, you're only a couple of injuries away from disaster in sports anyway, so.
And you've got to be proud of this team this year, the way they have coped with all the injuries they've had, because this has been an unusual season the last 6 years. The Braves never had that many guys down at one time, not like this year.
That's right. It was bound to catch up with us sooner or later, but so far we've been able to play our way through it, and hopefully, knock on wood, we will do so in the postseason.
Ted, this is Joe. One of the things that's been nice for the Braves in the last 5 or 6 years is that any time Bobby Cox or John Sherholtz needed somebody to step up in October, they need to acquire the player to help put them over the hump a little bit, they were able to go out and get that player, and usually you were the guy that they always had to go to say, can we do this? And I don't know that you've ever turned them down.
I can't remember ever turning them down.
And it's certainly the rewards from all that have been wonderful the last few years.
Sure have.
And it's got to be a kick for you tonight, Ted, to reacquaint yourself with so many of the players and some of the great players that have passed through here, not only before you took over the ball club, but certainly since.
Yes, sir.
Well, Ted, we want to thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations again on what you've done to turn things around here for baseball in this city.
Well, all I did was sit here and sign a few checks.
Okay.
And we really appreciate it.
We appreciate those.
I appreciate your work, too.
Okay, thank you, Ted. We appreciate very much Ted Turner joining us on the beginning of the post-game celebration here up on the Matrix screen. They're showing some of the great plays in the past for the Atlanta Braves, going all the way back to the early days of this franchise here in Atlanta when Hank Aaron was hitting home runs. And you're seeing now what's going to really get a charge out of this crowd. That's the David Justice home run in Game 6 of the World Series last year. And I'll bet you what you're going to see next is Marquise Grissom catching a fly ball off the bat of Carlos Baerga.
And goosebumps for everybody.
A moment that Atlanta waited 30 years for. And hope to repeat again this year in this final season at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. The party has begun here, just like it did a year ago.
Nice laser show going on, too, as that is being shown on the big screen. A lot of the fans on their feet watching this.
And still to come, an introduction list of many of the top players who wore Atlanta Braves uniforms during the 31 years the Braves have played in this ballpark. The Braves winning here tonight by a final score of 3-1 to close out the regular season here in Atlanta. And we get ready now for the post-game ceremonies to continue. To update you on what we're going to be able to do here, we're going to be able to stay with these post-game ceremonies for about another 20 minutes or so. Ernie Johnson will be the on-the-field MC.
Field of Dreams, the grand finale.
The one constant through all the years has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. Baseball has marked the time. This field, this game, is a part of our past. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again. Oh, people will come. People will most definitely come.
Game every day for me with the World Series. I just thought that was just absolutely the greatest place to play in the world, and I tell you, if I had it all over again, I'd probably do it exactly the way I did it. You know, every time I ride by there, I see that ball that Hank Aaron hit out in left field and Tom House catching it. I see that in my eyes every time I go by that stage. Of course, it's like a home to me. It's like taking part of my house away from me. All my memories when I pulled into that parking lot, parked my car and walked into that stadium. Just having the opportunity to put on an Atlanta Braves uniform every day. represent Atlanta, represent the state of Georgia, of course my family, my children, my wife. Special days, to me, honestly, they were all very special. I can't think of one more special day than another. I just enjoy playing in that stadium.
Braves fans were the best, especially back then when we first started playing in Atlanta. People were coming from a lot of other places. There wasn't a fan base, so to speak, and a tradition. But people like Pearl Sandow that became our good friends. They were people that were there every single night. We got to know them. We got to know their faces and their ways. And and knew that they were there with us through thick and thin. And I think they were the ones responsible to start out to see the way that things have ended up now, where it's probably one of the greatest places to play in the country, one of the greatest stadiums to play, and perhaps the best fans in all of the U.S.
grew up in that stadium. That stadium changed my life in more ways than I can tell you. That stadium is a part of me, will be a part of me. Thank goodness the years that I played there, we took pictures and films and whatnot of the ballpark. It'll be a sad night for me, but as well a glad night for me, because I feel in some small way I'll pass the torch on to the team that's out there now. And my goodness, they've carried it very well, I'd say. The 10 years I spent there were wonderful. The ballpark, the balls just seemed to fly out of there. So for a guy like me who hit a long ball from time to time, it was a great stadium to play in.
a dream of a lifetime to, of course, first of all, be a major leaguer, but to be in Atlanta and how far this city has come in the years and watching it grow. I've been down here for the last 13 or 14 years, and just a thrill to play there. And I know kids and people that get to come down on the field just for brief moments, cherish that moment. So I appreciated every day I wore that uniform, and whether it was the Braves or whatever team, but to play in Fulton County is something special.
great thing about being able to play for the Braves and being able to play in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium is to be able to play in front of people that were there to help you and were there to support you. And like I said, through thick and thin, sometimes things didn't go so well, but usually the fans were very supportive. That's what I always felt. And I also always felt like, I had an organization behind me that cared about me and supported me. And they gave me a few breaks. They allowed me to make some mistakes and hung in there with me. Whenever I drive past the old stadium site now, the memories will get a little bit better, a little bit greater. A lot of my life and my younger years was spent in that stadium. And I think I'll be a little bit sad every time I drive by the stadium and it's not there.
What a night for Braves fans everywhere, and we've got more.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Tribute to the 31 years that the Braves have spent in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium right after this.
Babonzito. Oh, parce que me voulait faire jeune gens, même journée là.
Language. It's how we communicate with each other. But not all of us speak the same one. So at Bell South, we have people you can reach who speak several languages, whether it's Creole or even English.
I'm so glad you have me good.
Bell South, it's all here.
24-valve V6, more torque than Lexus ES300. More horses than BMW 528i. Automobile Magazine named Millennia S an all-star 2 years in a row. Millennia. Leases start at $339 a month, $1,000 down.
You gotta get dirty, you know? If you go through life just sticking to the roads, and if you're designed to be off-road, then use it. Getting dirty's tons of the fun. I think it's a mental cleansing, if you will. Cleaning your insides while dirtying your outsides. And that's what Chevron with Techron's all about. It helps keep my engine clean and emissions low.
No gasoline cleans your engine better than Chevron with Techron. Chevron, simply smarter.
Man, what a rush.
Atlanta Braves Baseball, brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. By Coca-Cola Classic, always in the game, always Coca-Cola. By your Heart of Georgia Chevrolet Geo dealers. And by Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody.
Well, on this Field of Dreams finale night at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, as far as regular season goes, they're about to introduce the most famous Brave of them all, Hank Aaron, who will get a huge ovation when he is introduced here. Due to time restrictions, we're not going to be able to stay with all of these ceremonies tonight, but we do have enough time to pay one final tribute to the place that the Braves have called home for the past 31 years.
Sets his sights. And there it goes.
And the drama reached its peak when Clarence Gaston hit one to Darrell Evans at third, who throws on to first, locking up Phil Necro's no-hit game, the first ever for an Atlanta pitcher.
Aaron in his earlier days used to hit more to right center than the left. There's a long drive. Ball's hit deep, deep, That is good! He did it! He did it! Henry Aaron is the all-time home run leader now. Listen to this! He did it!
It's going to come down to one final swing for Pete Rose. You know what's happening. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. The hitting streak is over, and the Braves have pummeled the Cincinnati Reds 16-4.
We're America's team, living America's dream. To win is our theme. The Braves are America's team.
1-0 pitch. Swung on, hit center field. Going in. Here comes Butler. Here comes the throw. Safe. Braves win. Can you believe it? They're going bananas again. Just listen.
It'll be an 0-2 pitch. And he is at the deep left. He goes back. It is gone. Holy cow. Oh, my goodness. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Rick Kemp. Rick Kemp. I don't believe it. Remember what I just said. If he hits a home run, that certifies this game as the wackiest, wildest, most improbable game in history.
Reardon delivers. There's a fly ball, deep left center field. Right looking up. He did it. He did it. Bob Horner has become the 11th player in baseball history to hit 4 homers in one game. Albert Hall's had a big night tonight. He's 3 out of 4 with a single, a double, and a home run. Drives this one. Fair ball. Headed for the right field corner. Glenn Davis is going to argue. Hall almost tripped over him going around first base. Hall's going to circle second, head for third. Here comes the throw. He's in there safely. And Albert Hall has hit for the cycle. Everybody standing. Glenn, National League's leading hitter. And the pitch. Swung on, fly ball, deep left field. Nixon back. He's got it. The no-hitter. And the Braves win. Merker, Wallers, and Pena in a no-hitter. From worst to first. Listen to this crowd.
Lemke hits it into left field. Here comes Justice. Save! And Atlanta wins it. There's a drive. Deep right center field. Nixon goes as far as he can go. He caught the ball. He caught the ball. I can't believe it. What a catch by Otis Nixon. It's the 2-1. Swung line drive left field. One run is in. Here comes Green. Here's the throw to the plate. Braves win! Braves win! Braves win! Braves win! Braves win! He hit the top of the wall. The Braves have won this game 7-6. Unreal.
The 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and belted. Deep right field. Back goes Ramirez. That ball is gone. Home run. This crowd on its feet for David Justice right now.
The wind and the pitch. Here it is. Swung. Fly ball deep left center. Grissom on the run. Yes! 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 The Atlanta Braves have given you a championship. Listen to this crowd. A mob scene on the field. The Atlanta Braves have brought the first championship to Atlanta.
Leading sports television into the 21st century, this has been an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports.